What's up, Matt Cox? Thanks for coming back.
All right.
We're back.
What's up, Matt?
All right.
Little buddy.
Yeah, that's why you got to get him a chair, like a big boy chair.
I offer him that one. He doesn't
Why
take
don't
it.
you don't like the chairs?
No, those chairs suck. You like that chair, Matt? Be honest. Do you like that chair?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Fair enough.
Why not?
Because it's a piece of shit.
Do you like that one better?
No, I don't want to sit that low to the ground. I'm already low enough to the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, what's up?
Not much, man. What are you saying? You got a automatic rifle pulled on you on a date the other day? Or
Yeah.
something?
Guy pulled the.
What the fuck happened?
Well, it wasn't on a date. I'd met this girl through a mutual friend of ours named Vesser. And I'd met her. He set me up on a date with her. I go on the date with her. And then when we're on the date, like, she didn't really know it was a date. She kind of thought it might be a date, but she thought I was an author and wanted to write her story. Like, she wasn't sure. But she looked me up and saw that all she knew was like, hey, I got this buddy. He wants to meet you. He's a writer. So she was like, okay. So she goes on the date with me, and as we're on the date, she immediately starts kind of telling me her story, like and I was looking at her, and like halfway, like 10 minutes into it, I'm like 10 minutes.
The pics are in.
10 minutes into it, I'm like, what's going on? What are we doing here? And she goes, I go, what are you doing? She goes, I'm telling my story. And I went, what do you think this is? And she goes, I mean, I thought you wanted to meet me because are you interested in my story? And I was like, no, this is a date. And she was like, oh, wow, I'm sorry. I thought maybe you wanted my story. And I go, do you have a story? Like, I mean, like, I just drove like an hour and a half to meet her at an Outback near her. And I'm like, do you have a story? And she's like, well, I kind of do. Like, she started explaining it to her. Like, I mean, her husband died. Like, there's drugs. Like, she has an interesting story. But as we started talking, she said, yeah, man, I'm sorry. I don't really date. And I was like, well, why don't you date? And I go, why not? She goes, I said, because your husband just died. He died like 6 months or a year ago. I said, because your husband died? And she goes, no. She said, we'd been separated for like 2 years. She said, no, like 2 years ago, she said, I came down with cancer. I have cancer. And I went, oh, wow. Like, I didn't know that. I said, I'm sorry. And so anyway, she said, yeah, that's why I don't date. Like, I mean, she said, well, the kind of cancer she has, it's some kind of slow progression, and you can fight it, but it only gives you like another year. Like if you take chemo, she's like, so I might have 2 more years left. And she was super thin. But I thought thin, like sexy thin. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. No. Now I'm looking at her like, no, it's cancer thin. Mm-hmm. So, but look, I mean, beautiful chick, blonde hair, blue eyes. She had fucking tats and stuff. Like, she's like everything I like, right? And anyway, so I was like, okay, well, tell me your story. Because, you know, she said she she really doesn't get out. She's just kind of trying to raise her kids until she passes. And so at the end of so I'm joking with her. Anyway, by the end of the dinner, she says, hey, I'm having a really good time. Do you want to go play pool? And I went, yeah, sure. I mean, what am I going to say? No. I mean, she's got fucking cancer. Like, I'm going to do whatever you want to do. Let's do it. So we play pool. She beats the hell out of me 3 games in a row. She's like a fucking shark. So at the end of that, when I go to leave, it's like 12 o'clock. I remember she stopped me at my car and she said, can I tell you something? I go, yeah, what's that? And she said, I wish this had been a date. She said, I had a really good time with you. And I don't get out much. And she said, I had fun and you made me laugh and you seemed like a great guy. And I was like, hey, well, look, it is a date. We'll go out again. And tomorrow I'll call you and we'll go out again. And she was like, Matt, like, this ends, I die. Like, you understand this isn't.
It doesn't mean you can't go on a couple dates.
Right. That's what I said. I said, first of all, I could die on my way home.
Right.
I said, you could die of a brain embolism tomorrow morning that has nothing to do with cancer. I said, nobody knows. So I said, look, we'll go out. I like you. You like me. We'll see. Maybe it'll work. Maybe 3 dates from now, we hate each other. And she was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. She was like, I said, look, I'm a big boy. I know what she goes, I don't want to do that to you. I said, I know what I'm getting into. I said, or hey, if you don't want to go. She says, no, I do. I'm interested. I was like, okay, great. So we talked for till 2 or 3 in the morning. You know, I drove home. We're on the phone. We're talking. The next day we talk. Next day we talk. We're about to go out again. She ghosts me. Totally ghosts me. Nothing. No response to my emails or my texts. I'm like, what the hell? So I send her a text that says, hey, listen. And I go over all this on my podcast. Like, it's like an hour-long thing. I'm giving you the Reader's Digest version so we can get the AR-15.
The abridged version?
Yeah. So I end up sending her a thing saying, hey, listen, I don't know what I did or what happened, but given your situation, I hope you have the best result possible. you know, you seem like a nice person. I'm just disappointed that we didn't get to know each other better. I'm sorry. I said, and if I upset you, you know, I'm sorry, but I would have liked to have gotten to know you. And I sent it. No big deal. Like, I'm going on in the next one. Well, like a week later, I get this long-ass text. And on my podcast, like, I read the whole text. You can read the whole thing. Like, I have the Siri read the whole thing. And it's like, look, it's not that I'm not interested. You don't understand. My husband died. I feel guilty. I feel guilty about being happy. You understand that I'm going to end up passing away. I feel bad about this. And it goes on and on. So we end up talking on the phone. So I text her back, look, let's just talk. So we talk. And she says, look, I talked to my daughter. My daughter said, look, this guy, he knows he's an adult. He wants to meet you. I mean, he wants to date you. You deserve to be happy. You don't have to spend your last 2 years just driving us around. You need to be happy. And if you like this guy, you should go out with him. So she goes, look, and I'm sorry. She's on the phone crying.
Damn.
I mean, this is one date.
Wow.
So she's like, look, she's like, you know, it's just, I can't believe that you know that I'm going to die and you're okay with that. You're going to be okay with that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be okay with it. Like, you don't understand, I'm all in. It's the bank theory, right? Like, I'm not going to the bank with a note. I'm going on with an AR. I'm going with an AR-15, and I'm taking out with the contents of the vault. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all in. If I'm all in, I'm all in. So, anyway, she's like, look, if you're willing, then I'm willing. Let's do this. Great. We end up talking for the next couple days. Again, once again, on the phone. She's texting me all the time. It's great. Super, just smart, sexy. And, you know, the cancer thing, whatever. We'll see what happens with that. So we're supposed to meet that night. Ghost me. Again, ghost me like 3 days later, ghost me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what happened. So like a week later, my ex-wife calls me and she's like, hey, what's up? You know, what's going on with this person? What's going on with that person? I talked to her. Yeah, this and this and this. No big deal. You know, this one, you like her? I like her, but this is the problem. Well, what about this one? I like her, but this is the problem. What about this chick? I like her, but, you know, there's problems. She goes, what about the cancer chick? She goes, you really liked her. And I go, right. And I told you she ghosted me. She goes, yeah, but you don't know what happened. I said, well, no, I don't know what happened. She goes, you know her address? I went, I mean, I can figure it out. She goes, you need to go to her house and find out. And I went, nah, I know.
That's a little weird. That's
oh, yeah. Oh, no. Don't trust.
That's
your wife.
bad advice.
Your ex-wife's trying to get you whacked.
She's trying to get me killed. I know. Listen, I know. I'm with you. But keep in mind, this is also the chick that every time I got indicted, prior to the indictment, she's like, look, I know that your friends got indicted and you like them and we like them. They're good people. We don't talk to them anymore. I'm like, what? She's like, they were indicted. They're going to roll over on you. I'm like, they would never do that. Like, if you understand, every time I've been in trouble, she's told me, this is what's going to happen. Stop now. Do this. Get rid of this. Do this. I never do it. I never listen to her.
Is your ex-wife, is she in the American Greed episode of you?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Oh, she's always avoided
has.
Yeah, she's good. So, anyway, so I sat there and she convinces me going there. I'm like, that's stalker material. She goes, look, you show up, you knock on the door. If she opens the door and says, Matt, get out of here. She goes, leave. She goes, but read me the text. So I start reading her all the text. She never once says she doesn't like you or she's not interested. All she's saying is like, you're an amazing guy. You're a great guy. I like you. I want to date you. She goes, you don't know, Matt. She could be in the hospital. You don't know what's happening. Just go to check it out. She goes, for her to just disappear, that's weird. And I went, yeah, if I show up and she's like, what are you doing here? I'll just leave. You know, I can't have the cops called on me. Like, I'm not in that position. I'm not stalking you. So I drive out there. I find her thing. I drive out.
Wait. How did you find her address?
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I know her name. I know her husband's name. It's public record. She owns a house.
Hillsborough County?
No. This is out in it's another
So
county. I don't want to say
whatever
it's
county it was. So you searced this county's public
records. I find her house.
Oh my
Find her
God.
address. It's not hard. So I track her down.
I don't know how to do that. That's crazy.
property appraiser.
Property appraiser.
Yeah.
So I track her down. I mean, I know her real name. Here's the thing, like literally, like she doesn't even use her real name, but she told it to me, her husband's last name, when we were at dinner. So, and it's like a Russian name, but it's a common Russian name. So anyway, I go there. Well, it's a European name. So I go there. That's the cop. So anyway, okay, so.
You got Matt, for people out there who don't know the context of that. Matt has a lady cop texting him.
Yeah, I have a chick that I've gone on a few dates with. That's a police officer.
Matt's slinging dick all around town.
That's not true.
Slight
That is
conflict of interest.
that is a lie. It's not what's happening at all.
He might only be 5'4", but he's slinging.
5'7" with a good pair of shoes. 5'6". You know, listen. Can we not listen? So here's what happened. So I go out there.
To her house.
To her house. I'm almost to her house.
Uh-huh.
And I call up, and Kayla calls, my ex-wife calls, and she goes, "Are you almost there?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Stop." And I go, What? She goes, "Go by a Publix." And I went, "Okay." She goes, "Get a dozen roses. You can't show up with empty-handed." She goes, "It's like a romantic gesture. It'll be great." And I go, "Are you fucking serious?" I said, "I'm telling you right now, I'm already looking like a fucking idiot." I said, like this can't get any more embarrassing. You want me to have roses?" She goes, "Yes." I go, "Okay, fine." So I stop, I get a dozen roses. It's like $25, $20, whatever. I grab a dozen roses. I go, I pull up to the house. I don't see her car. But I can see that there's people inside. And I know she's got a couple kids. And I know she's got a roommate that's blind that she takes care of. And I thought.
A guy she takes care of?
Yeah, he's blind. So he lives in a spare room. They pay her and she kind of, Social Security, disability, what. So I'm like, and I look and I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go down there. I'll knock on the door. Whoever answers the door, I'm going to say, "Hey, my name's Matt." Her name's Alyssa. "Hey, my name's Matt. I'm here for Alyssa. If she's not here. Okay, it's fine. Can you give her these roses? Tell her I stopped by." And then I'm leaving. Like I'm already like, listen, I'm already feeling uncomfortable. So I walk down there. I'm walking down the sidewalk, about to get to the front door, and suddenly her car pulls on the lawn. It's out in the sticks, so they park on the lawn. Like it comes roaring down.
Oh,
and
you're like out in the sticks.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm out there. It's bad.
How close are the neighbor houses?
I mean,
What county is this in? Is it Polk?
fuck no, it's like Castle County or I forget.
Like Ocala area?
It's like whatever above Orlando. It's like
Yeah, it's like Ocala.
yeah. So I can't. I don't remember the exact name of the county, but the point is that I'm.
You're in the middle of Florida where the shit goes down.
Yeah. There's a lot of pickup trucks.
When
bro.
you get like a couple hours from any coast and you're in the middle of Florida.
Yeah, it's the. I mean, and look at me,
look at me,
bro.
goes down.
Is there "Make America Great Again" flags flying from
Like,
your
I'm-
house?
Oh yeah.
I'm I'm not prepared for this. So the car pulls right on down, right about 5-10 feet away from me. It stops, and I think it's her. So I turn. I'm holding flowers. I'm in
Dressed to the nines.
bro. I'm in a tight t-shirt and skinny jeans, holding a dozen flowers. I mean, I might as well be homosexual. I mean, it's that bad. I look that bad. It's that embarrassing. I'm just like I'm like a helpless little puppy. Like
What time of the day is
it's
this?
8 o'clock. It's dark.
Oh,
It's
my
about 7:30.
God.
About 7:30.
Okay, keep going.
So the car door opens, boom, and I think it's going to be her. So I'm like, "Hey, what's up?"
It's her car, though, right?
It's her car.
Okay.
Boom. Guy stands up. He's like 6'4" with 2-inch heeled cowboy. He's like 6'6". Stands up.
Country-looking guy?
Country, bro. He's got a fucking baseball cap. He's got a wife beater on. He's got torn blue jeans. I mean, it's bad. Like hunter. First thing I thought of was 1, Slender Man. And 2, he looks like a hunter. He's super skinny. Like he also looks like a hunter. And I remember he stands up and he goes, "Hey man," he said, "You here for somebody?" I went, "Yeah, I'm here for Alyssa." I threw some bass in my voice,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bro. No. What the hell? This is bad. So yeah, it was horrible. So
God.
So I go, "Yeah, I'm here for Alyssa," and he said, "All right, I'll get her." He walks off. I follow him up the little sidewalk. I'm about 10-15 feet outside the door, but it's total dark, right? So he opens the door and I can see her inside, but she can't see me. I'm in silhouette. So he opens the door and then he closes the door. Then he opens it again. And he goes, "Hey, bro," or I think he kept calling me Bubba. He goes, "Yo, Bub."
Bubba?
"Yo, Bub, what's he said, "What's your name?" And I go, "My name's Matt." She knows who I am. And he says something, closes the door, opens the door again, closes it, and walks right by me. Walks over to the car, opens the door, leans in the car, comes back out. Boom, he's holding an AR-15. And I'm like, huh. Then he goes walking right, and as he's walking by me back in the house, I go, "I'm still holding the flowers, by the way." And I'm like, well, that ain't good. And he just doesn't say anything. Like I thought he was going to be like, "Oh, it's not a big deal."
It was a power move.
Yeah, he just walked right by me again, and I'm thinking, this is a bad idea. Like I don't know who that guy is. I do remember she had told me she'd only dated one guy since she and her husband split up.
Mm-hmm.
Dated him she was like, we dated for 6 months. She said, then he basically stalked me. She goes, I had to get a restraining order against him. And she said, he won't leave me alone. She goes, he still comes around. So I didn't know that was him. That was him. His name's Chris.
Definitely.
So he walked right by me, walks in, opens the door, closes the door.
The front door of the house?
Front door of the house, and I see her. Now she's standing way closer.
She see you?
Oh, now she definitely saw me. She knows it's me, Matt. And so he opens the door. Then he turns around. He opens the door. He's holding the gun like this. He opens the door and he goes, "Yo, Bubba, you got to go." And I go, "What? Excuse me?" Like I didn't understand it. And he goes, "Yo, Bubba," he said, "you got to go. You got to go." And I went, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." I said, "Yo, bro." I said, "I didn't know it was that serious. My bad. I'm out of here. Sorry about that. Didn't realize this was that serious." I turn around. I start walking backwards. He's walking towards me with the gun.
Oh, man.
And I'm walking backwards. I get close to her car because her car was right up front, remember? And I take the flowers. I said, "I'm leaving these here because I don't want them." Boom. Those are for her. I'll see you around. I turn around and walk off. He goes, "Yo, Bubba." I stop. I go, "Yeah, what's up?" He said, "Man, how'd you get her address?" And I said, "It's on the internet." And he goes, "Is it?" And I go, "It is if you look hard enough." And he goes, "All right." And so I start walking. Then I kind of walk off. And he goes, "Yo, Bubba." I said, "Yeah, man, what's up?" He said, "Man, I'm sorry you're having a bad night."
That's what he said?
Yeah. And I said, "Nah." I said, "Listen, bro." I said, it's my fault." I said, "I thought I would make a romantic gesture. I clearly misread the signals." I said, "Totally my fault." I said, "You know, my bad." I said, "You won't see me again." Turn around and he said, "Yeah, I know." He said, "Bro, I've been there. I've been there, man. I've been there." He said, "I get it." He said, "But I hope you have a better night." I said, "No problem." I walk off. I get in my car. I start driving. Call my ex-wife. And I said, I just had a guy pull, her ex-boyfriend just pulled an AR-15 on me. She goes, "Oh my God, you went to the front door? I didn't think you'd do it." And I was like, "What the hell? What do you mean you didn't think I'd do it?" And she goes, "Why?" I said, "You know I'm a risk taker. You know I'm going to do it." And she goes, "What happened?" And then I told her, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." And
wow, that went a lot better than I thought it was going to go.
oh yeah, well, it could have gone bad. So I did, listen, here's what's funny. So then I called Vesser, our mutual friend. I say, "Vesser, this is what happened." And Vesser goes, "Holy shit." He goes, "That's Chris. That's her ex-boyfriend. She's got a restraining order against him. I didn't think they were seeing each other again." He's like, "Otherwise, I wouldn't have hooked you up with her." Oh. And I was like, "Right." And I said, "Bro, is all of this real? Like, does she really have cancer?" He goes, No, she's got cancer." He's, "No, that's true." And then he starts telling me about the two of them, and they shouldn't be around each other. They're bad for each other. And they keep going. He goes on and on. And then he ends up saying, he's like, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Well, I got to do a podcast on this." So this is hilarious. Only this would happen to me. So he said, "Yeah, definitely let me know." So I do the podcast on my channel, and then I release it. When I release it, he contacts me in the comment section.
No.
Yes. "Yo, bro," he said, "Yo, bro," he said, "This is the guy with his name is Chris, God, I forget, mix something. Anyway, he said, I'm the guy with the AR-15. He said, "I'm sorry you had such a, or I hope you ended up having a better night." I said, "No, Chris, I appreciate that." I said,
He said this in the comments?
In the comment. I said, "I'm just glad you didn't shoot me."
Yeah.
And then he said, "By the way," he said, "when I removed the gun from the car, I removed it just to keep it in the house for the night." There's something called the castle law.
Yeah.
Right,
I know that.
right.
I'm familiar with it.
Right. He said, and when I opened the door, he said, "I never had my hand on the trigger."
I'm sure he didn't.
Right.
He probably didn't.
So I came back
Probably
and I
not
said,
even allowed to have a gun.
right.
He probably knows what the fuck he's doing.
Right. Well, I came back and I said, "Chris," I said, "I'm not trying to get anybody fucked up." I said, "I understand how the castle law works." I said, "You're fine. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
And then that was it. I haven't heard from him since. Or her. Oh, but this, she blocked me on Facebook.
She did?
Yeah, because what's funny is after I left, she didn't. But when the video came out, she did. So, and I also put pictures of her. Like,
Did you talk to her at all after that night?
fuck.
No, I put multiple pictures of her on my podcast and him. I went on his podcast.
Stop.
I went on his Facebook and I took pictures of him.
Oh, fuck.
No, they never asked me.
Let me see. Let me see a picture of him. I don't want to show it, but I just want to see it for
Yeah,
of her.
No, of him.
I want to see who he
Yeah,
looks
because
like.
I got a picture of him in my head,
Me too.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you right now.
I'm picturing Kid Rock.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
But from Joe Dirt movie.
David Spade.
Not the regular. Kid Rock's in that movie.
Oh yeah.
So not like
forgot. I
not
keep
like the
forgetting.
on-stage Kid Rock, but the Joe Dirt Kid Rock. It's exactly what I pictured.
Oh my God, this is so.
Man, I wish we could call.
Oh, we
that
can. Why
guy.
not? Come on, bro.
He's not,
Right?
He's not as country as I thought he
Are
was.
you
yeah.
serious?
He's got a
No.
Florida
Look at
tattoo.
the next one. Look at the
Yeah,
next
but
one.
he's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the picture of it's. See the here. Let me show you.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
See the picture of the two of them shooting.
He
Austin's trying to get a glimpse of this motherfucker. Okay, show it to him. He's just another mid-Florida guy, man.
Yeah.
That's what they all look
That-
like.
isn't
when
that
you
funny?
he
get
looks
about
like
an
he
hour
looks
off
like
the
he
coast.
listens to Tool
Let me show you.
and 9 Inch Nails.
Of course.
No, he's listening to fucking Hank Williams.
Yeah, he looks kind of like Hank Williams Jr. Honestly, or no, Hank Williams 3. He looks kind of like Hank 3.
You want to see what she looks like?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right?
She looks
right?
like she might work at a strip club.
Right?
That's a stripper
gotta-
bikini right there.
Right?
Does she work at a gentleman's club?
Hold on. No.
Are you sure?
No, I'm sure. I mean, trust me. Visser told me. I mean, Visser gave me the fucking lowdown.
Yeah, she looks like a corn-fed redneck herself.
Bro, like, you know what's so funny is like everybody, like Visser's like, I don't think that's your kind of girl. I'm like, no, bro, that's exactly my kind of girl. And he's like, nah, bro, like, I mean, I don't see you with this chick. I'm like, no, that's
definitely Matt's kind of
trust
girl.
me, that's
She's trouble.
Yeah, that's my kind of girl. Trust me. But yeah, she's clearly she's I don't know. It didn't work out.
Yeah, clearly.
You know, and I got the AR-15, but I did get the podcast out. I got a good podcast.
Yeah, it's
like,
another story, another.
You're
page
lucky
in
he
the
was
book.
he was extremely reasonable.
That's
And
what I
he's
said.
Not
I said,
how I would expect some
that's-
sort of fucking methed up redneck
if
to be.
you have to get kicked off a piece of property,
At least
with
he didn't even
AR-15.
point it at you.
No, didn't
Yeah.
point it at me. I mean, he was
Because
very
he knew
nice.
he wasn't really. You're not just.
He
allowed to
wasn't
start
like,
pointing
Look,
guns
you
at
look at
people,
me.
man.
I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
You know I don't have a gun. You know, come on. You
He
know what
could
this
have been
is.
like those two old white people in front of their big mansion.
Basically, what he was.
No, those two people. There was the lady, like she had their finger
Yeah.
on the trigger and she was like holding the gun out like that, like. And the guy had his gun and he had his finger on the trigger, was holding it completely wrong. Like they did, you could tell like they've never held guns before in their lives.
No, he's clearly a gun guy.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. That's a fun
Yeah, well,
story.
he definitely knows what he's doing because I'm not going over there again.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking story, Matt.
Eh.
So now you got the lady cop.
Yeah, the lady cop. I can't talk about the lady cop because
No, 'cause that's going good.
Because she's gonna.
That's
I
good.
mean, that's as far as it can go. Like
Yeah.
she's gonna watch this and she's gonna be like, I don't know
What's
what
she gonna say?
I don't know what she's gonna say. Bro. I don't know what's going on with that.
She's not a cop. She's in law enforcement.
Law
She's like
enforcement.
Dexter Morgan.
Right.
I can't believe you
Let's
haven't seen that
hope
show,
not.
bro. That show's really good. You would love that show.
I mean, yeah.
Oh wait, have you seen it?
No, I've seen
Oh, you
bits
never
and
did.
pieces.
Bits and pieces,
But I mean,
yeah.
the fact is the guy's a serial killer. I keep same thing with the guy from You. Everybody keeps telling me like,
I've never seen
oh,
You.
that's you. You're so and so. My friend Stacy keeps calling me that guy's name. I forget his name, but she keeps saying, I'm telling you, you're so and so. And I'm like, he's killing people. I've got like there's like three people that I keep getting compared to, and they're all like serial killers.
Yeah.
Like, how am I
Gotta-
silly? I'm harmless.
It's the personality, though. Something
Yeah,
in
it's
there.
all about the personality. You have a lot of serial killer traits. The sociopathic,
Yeah.
very
It's the
very
sociocide.
articulate, sociopathic.
I was so nice to
persona.
Ian, too. You know, why did you?
That's a comp. Don't act like you're not fucking blushing.
Yeah. He's stroking.
All right, what are we doing?
I don't know. What are we doing?
I don't know. You called me the other day and you were crying the blues.
Oh,
how
why
Vice,
do you keep saying that? You keep saying that like I'm saying they screwed me out of money. I've never said anything
how
about money. It's not
Vice
money.
scammed. So Vice Media scammed the America's favorite scammer.
That's what you should
They
do. Like
conned the
how
con man.
how Vice conned.
America's favorite con man.
Yeah,
That's fucked
there's
up.
your
That
there's
is
your
fucked
that's
up.
your title.
I'd sue him.
I'm not suing him. There's no reason to sue. Like that's the whole thing. That's why they did it because they know there's no real money involved here. Like it'd be different if it was a movie that made $80 million. Where now
Don't
there's
worry,
going to
it's
be a
coming
law.
next.
Well, yeah, that's my fear.
They're war dogging you.
Oh shit! They
Right,
are war
right.
dogging you.
Here's the thing. So the thing is, I met this kid named Jacob Diaz. So here's what happens with Vice.
Is this one of the stories that you wrote
Yes.
when you were in prison?
This is one of the,
the
like,
guys you met.
20 some odd stories that I've written, and it was a kid named Jacob Diaz, and I wrote his story, and it's a story about this kid that basically at one point he was homeless. His mother left him. His mother abandoned him. He ended up in foster care eventually, but he was homeless. He ends up working for I want to say it was like the Sinaloa cartel. Yeah, right in the
Right in the mic.
right in the
What
mic.
fuck?
So he ends up working for is it the New Generation or Sinaloa cartel? Anyway, whatever, one of the Mexican cartels. And he ends up basically accruing money, arranging, like he goes through the ranks, right? Well, so I write his story. So he and I I end up writing this story for him. And typically I have these guys sign like a life rights agreement, right? So I have them sign a life rights agreement. And what happens is, he says he's going to sign the agreement. So I write the story. I give him the agreement. He says, yeah, let me look at it, this and that. Well, when it comes time to write the story, he ends up getting transferred. And I finish the story no, not transferred. He ends up going to Halfway House before me. And so I finish the story, but he never reads the story. So, or the whole story. And he never signs the life rights agreement. He keeps saying he's going to, but he doesn't. So I end up getting out. I post his story on my website, and it's called The Unlikely Narco. It's on my website, Inside True Crime. So I post it. It's a good story. I mean, it's a great story. I did a lot of research on it. I really there's a bunch of stuff that he didn't even know about his story. Like, I had to do research on who this guy was and how he was connected to that guy, and all these other stories that are involved in his story. And so I do a bunch of research. I do the Freedom of Information Act. I order all the documents. I order everything from his docket sheet. Like, I've got transcripts. I got everything. So I put together this whole really great story. Well, one day, a couple years late, like a year or so afterwards, I end up getting an email from Claudia Kist, Kist. So I get an email. She is a producer. She says she's a story producer for a true crime series for Vice TV called I'm a teenage. What is it?
I was a teenage felon.
I was a teenage felon. So she contacts me about John Boziak. She says in here, like, hey, like, she had found my story on John Boziak. She was interested. Could I put her in contact? You know, she said, I see that you guys wrote a book together. Can you put me in contact with them? And I said, well, so I get her on the phone. I call her. And I said, look, the problem with John Boziak is that his story, we've already optioned the life rights for his story. And she says, oh, okay. She said, wow, do you have any other stories like that? I need somebody who's young. I said, the only guy that meets your criteria for Vice is this guy named Jacob Diaz. I said, I wrote a story called The Unlikely Narco. I said, it's on my website. I give her the website. She goes to it. I said, why don't you read it and let me know? I give it to her. She reads it. She comes back, and she says it's great. It's a great story. So, in fact, before I even did that, because I had been talking to somebody else about it, a guy named Henry, guy named Henry Roosevelt, before I even talked to her and gave her the name of the story, I contacted Henry, which is this one, and I put, Henry, I would like to call Claudia regarding a story I wrote titled The Unlikely Narco. Is that going to be an issue? So I sent that to him. So he comes back, he talks to me, and he says, what is it? And I explain the whole situation to him, and he says, yeah. He said, I don't have a problem with that. He said, I don't have a problem with that. He said, we're not going to do anything with that story probably, so go ahead and talk to her. So I get her on the phone. I said, okay, look, I've got this other story called The Unlikely Narco. You can look at that. I give her the website. She goes to it. She checks it out. She comes back. She says, man, that's great. That's perfect. I said, all right. And I said, she goes, can you put me in contact with him? I said, I can put you in contact with him. I said, but here's the problem, Claudia. I said, I've had stories stolen from me before. I said, now, if you just read the whole thing. She goes, yeah, it's great. I said, so you understand I've written your entire episode for you. That's an hour-long script that I've written.
Yeah.
Right. It's an episode. That's your whole episode.
Right there.
Right. And she goes, no, I agree. It's perfect. It's perfect for us. I said, right. So I said, I don't mind putting you in touch with this guy, but I want an executive producer credit, and I want $20,000. And she goes, okay. She goes, I don't think I can do $20,000. She said, the executive producer credit, she goes, I may or may not be able to do that. I need to talk to Vice first. She goes, but I think I can probably get you the executive producer, and I can probably get you maybe 10. And I went, okay. I said, I don't know. I said, let's talk to Jacob. I said, I think I'd be okay with that. I mean, I'm really only concerned about, to me, the executive producer credit. That's what I'm mostly.
Yeah, you want credit for it.
I want credit.
It's your story. You already wrote the damn
right.
thing.
I don't care about the $10,000. You know, I care about I want credit. I'm building you're building a resume.
Right.
So she says, okay, and I said, you know, you have to understand. I said, I've written your whole. You don't have to hire a writer. You guys don't have to spend hours putting this together. It's done. She goes, no, it's perfect. It's perfect. I said, okay. She said, well, look, before I contact Vice, my boss at Vice, to get all this clarified.
She's a subcontractor for Vice.
Yes, that's what I'm realizing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how they are able to keep that business running.
Right. So I said, I go, okay. She said, before I contact my boss, right? She's really a subcontractor, but she's saying my boss.
Right.
So it makes it sound like she works for him.
Yeah.
So she's like, and you understand, they're doing the whole show. Like they are, you know, their contract with Vice.
Right.
So she says, let me call my boss. I said, okay, cool. She goes, I'll call my boss. She goes, but before I contact him, she said, I need to know that Diaz is willing to be interviewed. So I've got to talk to him. And I went, okay, cool. I said, I'll contact him. So I said, I'll send him an email. I sent him an email, and then he emailed me back. I said, are you still in Orlando? I've got a producer for Vice TV that wants to talk to you. And I said, I can arrange that. I said, but I need to know, are you still in Orlando? And he came back, he said, yes, I'm still in Orlando. And I said, okay, cool. Send me your cell phone, right? Because his cell phone had been changed. And your contact info. So I contact her, and I said, listen, here's his email address. He's going to send me his contact info, but I said, you can go ahead and contact him, and I'll get you his cell phone as soon as he sends it. I said, or if he responds to you, whatever. So she then sent him an email. And some time goes by, and I send her an email saying, hey, what happened? And she comes back, and she says, she comes back and she says, hi, Matt, I thought I had copied you on the email. Apologies.
Yeah.
And then she put, here's a copy of what I sent, just so you know, in case he reaches out to you first. Then he said, fingers crossed, one of these avenues works. Well, I never heard from her or him again. I called her. She didn't respond to the call. Mm-hmm. I actually had a call with her and Henry. Henry had talked to her too. And on the call with Henry and the call with me, I said, look, I want to make sure you understand I'm not giving you the story. Like, this is my story. I don't want to be screwed out of my story. She goes, absolutely, Matt. That's not how I work. I would not do that. She's saying I work for Vice. I work for Vice TV. She says it's a credible company. I would never do that. She said, I assure you, I just need to make sure talk to him to make sure he's okay with it. If he's okay, I come back to you. If you say no, it's no. I said, okay, cool. Because I'm the only reason she even knows about this guy. Mm-hmm. And it's not like there's no public records out there. There's no articles. There's none of that. Like, I think there's I don't think there's an article with his name in it. So I'm the one that put together all the pieces, the whole thing. And so I don't hear from her again. I called her once. I think I sent her a text. That's it. Don't ever hear from her again. Don't ever hear from Jacob.
Should we expose her?
Huh?
Should we expose her on here? Tell her name.
I already did.
Oh, you did?
Her name is Claudia Christ. She's a producer.
God, I can't believe you did that, bro.
With a K or a C?
It's Claudia with a C, obviously, and it's Christ with a K. K-I-S-T.
Oh, K-I-S-T?
K-I-S-T.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kissed. And Claudia assured me that she didn't do business like that. She wouldn't screw me out of anything. And I basically wrote their whole thing. And here's what happens.
That's exactly what scammers say.
She got to them. As soon as he got the email, he called her.
Yeah. She said, I'll give you 10 grand.
Right.
We don't need Matt Cox. He already wrote the goddamn story.
Right. We've already got the fuck. Yeah. We already got his story. We don't need that guy. Why would I give him credit for anything?
Yeah. By the way, he wants 20. I'll give you 15.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, and I don't know anything about it. Don't know anything about it until later. A buddy of mine calls me up and says, yo, bro, that Diaz thing, huh? Like
I doubt they paid him more than $5,000.
Yeah, I agree.
They're probably like, Matt wants 3,000. We'll give you 5.
Yeah.
So they said, so my buddy calls and says, yo, bro, I saw the thing on Jacob Diaz, or there's a thing on Jacob Diaz, man. That's super cool. I go, what are you talking about? He said, yeah. He said, the series, I was a teenage felon. And I went, he goes, yeah, I was scrolling through it the other day. I saw Jacob Diaz. Yeah, you wrote that story. He said, the cartel kid. I went, no, I wrote The Unlikely Narco. And he goes, no, it's Jacob Diaz. It's the cartel kid. And I go, hold on. I go to the site. Boom, I see it. And I'm going,
Oh fuck! I wish we had that on footage.
That's my story. I read I mean, literally, I could have written the little blurb. I could have written it. It was taken directly from my synopsis, like, boom.
Directly from your manuscript?
From the I have the synopsis
Okay.
of the synopsis, but I also have a little jacket cover, which is like 2 or 3 paragraphs. I mean, it's basically they just rewrote it a little bit. It's I'm going, oh my god,
This motherfucker.
So then I called Danny. I called Henry, and Henry, the other producer I'm working with. He's like, yeah, bro, they're dirty. He goes, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's Vice. Vice is dirty. Because Vice will steal stuff from people all the time. It's horrible. He said the problem is like it's hard to sue them because the truth is there's not a lot of money in it. And you go to some lawyer, what's the lawyer going to do? The lawyer's going to be like,
well,
yeah,
they have a lot of money though.
They have a lot of money, but they're going to be like, yeah, but they have their whole system. He said because their whole system is set up to rip people off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So that if you end up with a lawyer, the lawyer's like, yeah, but when we sue, we'll sue this and this and this, and there's nothing to get. Like, what did that episode make them?
Right.
And
Well,
how
they
much?
yeah.
Well, are we going to make? Is it worth going to? And they're going to fight us. Because they've got lawyers on staff. They're going to fight us because their whole business model is based on ripping people off.
Yeah.
So
That's fucked.
Anyway, so
Well, their business model is based on like being a cool company and getting people to work there for
nothing.
little to nothing.
that is
just so they can
exactly
say they worked for
that
Vice.
is exactly what Henry said.
Yeah.
He said they get these interns
Yeah.
and people come in and they work them to death for a couple of years until they become disenfranchised,
Right.
and then they say, I'm done, and then they quit,
Right.
but they get the best out of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people who worked for Vice for a long time. One kid who actually is going to come on here soon, he worked there from the very, very beginning when the guy Shane founded it. And he worked there for fucking decades, and then he just got fired like last year. But they sold the company off to investors, and it's not owned by the
Cashed
original. They cashed out. Now it's just run by who knows who. It's
Corporate.
You know
Yeah.
what kills me is like, why do that? Why would you do that when like I've got a ton of stories, like and why try and fuck somebody out of like one story?
Because it's
doesn't-
just they're taking that and they're on to the next one.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
Just-
It's just
they're-
it's
they're
a
turning
mill.
and burning.
It's a mill,
Yeah.
right? So I watched the whole episode. You watched the episode. The episode is so watered down compared to my story.
I actually haven't watched it yet.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like it's super watered down. It's very watered down. Because honestly, let's face it, with where the commercial, it's only 45 minutes. Like it's funny. It's like some of the stuff that they really focus on. Well, here's the thing: they have a budget.
Wait, you watched it for the first time today after I sent it to you,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes. So my whole thing is, I'm watching it. And I'm like, why didn't they talk about this? Why didn't they do this? They could have done B-roll here. They could have done this. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, wait a minute. They have a limited budget. Like they really utilize the interviews.
yeah.
Like it's almost all interviews because the interviews are cheap.
Oh yeah. It's like basically it's a guy sitting on a couch like that
Exactly.
with one camera or maybe 2 cameras, and they just cut B-roll in.
Right. It's all B-roll.
It's super cheap.
Right. So yeah, it's a super cheap, and that's the whole thing. It's not worth like how do you sue for that? Like, and not just that. Based on that, like to me, I was thinking, well, they didn't. Is that theft of my intellectual property? Like the narrative that I have, my story's so much better than that. That I'm like, I wonder, does that go anywhere? It's just not a great episode on this kid compared to this kid's story. Listen, this kid's got a great story.
What, have you reached out to him at all?
I mean, he and I actually met in Orlando to talk about him signing his life rights. And what happened was when we were in prison, it was 50-50. But he never signed. So when we got out, I said 60-40. And he was like, oh, that's not right. I said, no. I've put in a significant amount of effort at this point. It's 60-40. I said, you had an opportunity. He then had a buddy come to me and try and get the story from me when I was in prison. I was like, but I knew. And I was like, I knew something was up. Like, I know you're friends with him, and that's a friend of Diaz's. And I thought, no, you're trying to get the story to send to Diaz. Like, because you didn't sign. Not that he could do anything with. Like, even this thing. Like, I mean, even the Vice thing. You couldn't even do that by yourself.
Yeah.
It went through me. Like, you're not going to take your story and run and do anything with your story if it doesn't go through me, because, you're just some ex-con who's got an alcohol problem and fixes credit for a living. But by the way, he has called me. Like that's
I
what
got a client for him.
Yeah, but I mean, he called, like, trust me, I wouldn't give him my soch. Like, he literally called me. Oh, listen, the stuff he was doing in prison.
Yeah, I'll
like
pass.
he would call me several times when I was in the halfway house. He was calling me on my cell phone, drunk, 11, 12 o'clock at night, drunk, just, what are we gonna do about this story, bro? You know, I'm like, you know, what are you doing, bro? Like, you know. So anyway, so I know he wasn't going to do anything with it. So I went out and I said, look, 60-40. And he agreed. 60, he was okay, fine. He goes 60-40. And I sent him the contract, and I never got the contract back. And while this whole thing was happening, so it literally in the same time period, this thing happened. And I'm just assuming he's going to sign the contract. We've already agreed. No. But yeah, the episode's watered down because he actually has a great story. You have to admit, it's gutsy. This is a kid who's 18, starts driving around a cartel member, setting up houses, setting up drop houses where they store drugs. Starts distributing the drugs, collecting the money, setting up cars to move through the United States to bring drugs to Orlando, and he's flying back. He moves to Acapulco and lives there for several years and starts arranging drug. This is in the middle of the cartel wars. People are dying left and right, and he's an American. Having an American passport and being Mexican American. By the way, he doesn't look Mexican. He looks like a white kid. So he very easily goes back and forth between Mexico. One time he actually got caught with money. The DEA comes in, they take the money, they give him a receipt, and they leave. They don't arrest him because they don't know it's drug money.
Yeah.
They said, but if you can prove where the money came from, you can get the money back. He called a lawyer. The lawyer's like, look, what are you doing? You're saying you made the money doing what? Mowing yards? Like, what are you doing? You're not getting the money back. Like, you'd have to claim taxes. You have to prove where it came from. This is drug money. Like, just walk away.
Yeah.
So he just walked away. Like, he's got
How much money?
I don't know how many. Was it 100 or 200,000? And then he had to pay back the cartel.
Oh, yeah.
Then another time he gets chased by the cops. He throws like $300,000. He hides it, gets caught, goes to jail. Like 3 or 4 months later, gets out, goes back to the woods, gets the money. He's like, because I can't lose more money. I just lost money. I just paid back the other money I lost. Like, they'll kill me. So he gets the money, goes back. I mean, he's got a bunch of stuff. They're chasing him with helicopters. He has some great stuff. And this is the thing. Like, a lot of these stories, like, it was like, that seems far-fetched. But then I would get the police report in.
Yeah.
They chased him with a helicopter. They even charged him for the helicopter fuel. So, he's got interesting stuff. And he does. He's traveling back. Then I read the transcripts. Listen, the FBI, DEA agent? The DEA agent on the stand made him sound like he was a huge drug dealer. Like he was practically a member of the cartel.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a great story.
Yeah.
It is a great story. The problem is the Vice version sucks.
Yeah.
So
Not impressed.
No, I wasn't impressed at all.
Yeah, none of their new stuff really sucks. None of the stuff they're doing right now is any good.
Is it any good?
Not that I think. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I've only seen I've seen two. Actually, that one and another one called The Queen of Meth or something like that, about some.
The Teenage Felons one aren't that bad. We had that other guy on here that had an episode on there.
Oh,
Brian
yeah.
or something.
The problem is, like, if you just watched the episode, you'd probably think, man, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But if
it's better.
if you read my story and then watch it, you're like, that sucks.
Yeah.
What other stories do you have out in the market right now that are that have interest to like become films or documentaries?
I mean, like Boziak's, I can't talk about, but it's great. That's going to happen.
Is it gonna happen?
Oh, it's definitely going to happen.
Really?
You saw the sizzle. I showed you the sizzle.
I saw the sizzle. I actually, I don't think I saw the sizzle.
Oh, bro, I got to show you.
Do you have it with you?
Yeah, but I can't play it. Like, if Henry even knew I had, even if Henry sees this, he's gonna be like, "What?"
Wait, who's Henry?
Henry Roosevelt, the guy who, I can't even talk about this.
Is
Danny.
he on the production company?
Yes.
Oh, have they sold it?
Look, what are you doing? So anyway,
we don't have to tell details. Who cares? No one,
bro, because they freak out.
You don't have to say who it is.
They freak out. I mean,
This is alleged.
They don't watch this.
Bro, they're gonna watch this. They're gonna watch
They
this.
don't watch this. Nobody watches this.
Everybody watches Koncrete.
No.
Talking about. Listen, every time I get recognized, the first thing they say is, "I saw you on Koncrete." And I'm like,
We're talking about the first episode, not the fucking 18.
"Oh no, yeah," because nobody watches any of these anymore.
Everybody's gonna watch it because Danny's gonna title it "Vice Scammed Matt Cox."
See, I would cut these up. I don't know why you don't cut up one, the AR-15 one, two, the Vice one.
They do
like,
get cut up.
huh?
They do get cut up.
Yeah, but that's on the clip one, right?
Yeah,
but
the
you always
clips
do
channel.
like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah. I
Like,
think
to
so.
me, it'd be
I don't
like-
do it, but
Who does it?
somebody else that edits it and does all that and posts it. Like they run the channel, just like your guy runs a channel for you.
Right.
Not Austin.
You have a
Austin
so-
just sits over there and wears
you have a
Birkenstocks and looks cool and travels the fucking world. He just got back from fucking Iceland or something.
That's right.
Where'd you get back from? Where's the last place you went?
Seychelles.
Where?
Seychelles.
Saint Shells? Is that a place?
What the fuck is St.
Is
Shells?
that a country?
From Madagascar, yeah.
Oh, Madagascar. He just got back from fucking
Who goes to
Madagascar.
Madagascar? Is there anything?
I
in
texted him the other day. I'm like, hey, we got a podcast Friday. He's like, oh, fuck. I'm in Madagascar.
I'll Uber. Well, can you Uber?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He's in Madagascar one week, fucking Greece the next week, fucking Antarctica tomorrow.
Life is good, man.
Fucking well traveled.
His mom's hot, right?
And his mom's
I
hot.
don't know. Is she?
Danny
gotta
told
hook-
me-
we gotta
Danny
hook
told
Matt
me-
Cox up with
Danny
your
told
mom
me his
also.
mom was hot.
His mom is hot. Everyone says allegedly. I've never seen her, but apparently she's hot.
Do we have pictures?
I'm sure Austin's
Like
dying to show
I'm,
you a fucking picture.
I'm assuming Austin's smiling behind the screen, but he may be steaming.
Yeah,
No,
he's
he's
shaking his
loud.
head saying, "Who the fuck said that about my mom?"
Let's see what else. What else?
What else?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. We got your NFT. Your NFT's coming out, right?
Are we gonna watch the Vice thing?
You want to watch it?
I mean, we can watch it just so you can see how. Listen, this
Watch the
kid.
beginning of it. Pull it up.
This kid in prison, by the way, was thin, in shape, good-looking kid. Now he's like a little butterball. The cartel kid.
Oh, I know what I wanted to talk to you about. The Ghislaine Maxwell trial.
Yeah, yeah.
I talked to Sean Atwood about it
Did you?
the other day because he's an expert in it. He's been studying. He's been you probably know, but he's obsessed with it.
Oh yeah.
He is.
Yeah,
He's been making videos following Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell for like the past fucking decade, probably something like that. He's made hundreds of videos about them, and he knows every single little detail about every part of their lives and their case and everything. And he sat down with this other guy, and they basically like laid out all of the possibilities that for all of the possible outcomes for her trial. You know, they laid out like 4 or 5 possible outcomes, like mistrial. You know, they know like what she's doing. They like, oh, she's annoying the judge. She's writing the judge these fucking letters every single day, and they're annoying the fuck out of the judge. And
That's a bad idea.
And they're like, she's so arrogant, like her father, Robert Maxwell, the billionaire media mogul. And they're just like, they're laying out like her personality, how she's acting, how she's acting towards the judge, annoying the judge. They're talking about the jury, and I don't know, the way they're laying it out, they go over what they think all the possible outcomes will be.
I mean, she's going to be guilty, right? I mean, you've
I
got.
don't know.
It doesn't take in federal court. It just doesn't take much to get a guilty verdict.
You think she'll be guilty?
I think she'll be.
You should
found.
just leave him out there.
Yeah, she'll be found guilty.
Hello?
I think she'll be found guilty.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it just doesn't take much. You get 4 or 5 people on the stand that say the same general thing of what you did, and then the U.S. attorney says what she did was illegal, and these people just told you that that's what she did. We're asking you, is she guilty of that? And they're all going to be like, well, if you're saying that this is what the law says. If she did this, she's guilty. And then they all said that's what she did. Well, then she's guilty. They're all going to go, yeah, she's guilty. But that's it. It's over.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's hearsay. Doesn't matter if you guys all got together. Doesn't matter if it was coach. Doesn't matter if there's no evidence.
Who, Ghislaine?
Did you see that they just had the pilot on the stand like 2 days ago? The Jeffrey's pilot.
Yeah.
And
He was like,
named all those people that were on it. Who Chris Tucker was on the
Yeah, yeah.
plane.
what was it? The Prince
fuck.
Andrew? Is it Prince Andrew?
Oh yeah, he was on it hundreds of times. But Chris Tucker was on there. There was a couple other just like random celebrities.
What was it? What's the lawyer that was on there too? The lawyer, OJ's lawyer.
No, the Kardashian
No, that guy
dad.
died a long time ago, man.
No.
Bro, Epstein's been flying his jet around fucking the Bahamas for the last 30 years. The Kardashian's dad represented OJ.
Yeah,
No,
he was
I'm
like
talking
one
about
of 4 lawyers,
Dershowitz.
but he
It
died
was
shortly
Dershowitz.
after that trial.
It was Dershowitz.
When was
He's
that?
been dead.
When did
Fucking 20 years ago.
when was the OJ trial?
I don't know. What you keep talking about the Kardashians? It's not him. It was Dershowitz.
Oh, Dershowitz. Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping.
Which
it
was
the
also
Kardashian
one
dad.
of which was also one of OJ's, lawyers. So,
But a lot of the thing about that is like there's a lot of people that could have just been on the plane that could have just been like passing
that
by.
doesn't mean anything. Like it
Right.
doesn't mean that you're a child molester if you
No.
if I'm hanging out with you and then suddenly
Right.
I find out you're a serial killer. Suddenly it's like, oh, you're a serial killer too, Matt. You hang out with him. What are you talking about? I know what this guy does on his off time.
Right.
Like
Yeah, but if you're caught flying there,
but it's like, hey,
couple dozen times.
you want to fly to my
like
my
Bill went there a lot of
Well,
times.
I know,
Bill's
but-
on that bitch like 100 times. You're telling me
say-
that's not suspect?
Well, I mean, he's suspect in general.
How about the picture of Bill wearing? Oh yeah, Kevin
Oh, yeah,
Spacey.
Kevin
You
Spacey.
know that
you
motherfucker.
know it.
Oh my God, you know he was fondling
Chris
little boys.
Tucker, what the fuck
Chris
was he doing there, bro? They probably just hired him to crack jokes while they were there.
Oh, you know he was fucking that
Guaranteed
guy's
guilty.
fucked.
Did you see the 60-minute interviews with the girls?
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about him. How
No, have you seen the interview with him?
right? Oh,
With that lady, and he's sitting there just like sweating profusely,
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to like talk himself in circles and fucking lie and discredit everything.
why would you even do an interview?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
to
real,
me,
man.
it'd be
I'm
like,
pleading the fifth
that was the
instantly.
biggest dumpster fire
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
that's a bad idea. Yeah.
But have you seen the picture of Clinton wearing the dress?
No.
The
You got-
painting?
What are you talking about?
You got to pull up the painting of
Oh, is it
Bill
a
wearing the
painting?
dress.
He has a painting in that mansion there on the island.
You're not gonna.
Bill
We're not
Clinton
doing
in a
the
dress.
Vice thing. No.
No, we will, but I want to. We can.
We went off
I want to
topic.
show this. This is fucking hilarious. We got to get Matt Cox to do a rendition of this. Like your own
Oh, you
version.
should.
You
paint
already
this.
mentioned.
You should
remember-
repaint this.
What was his name?
We should. Oh fuck.
Remember the thing you said to do? What's his name? And I was like,
With BM?
yeah. I was like, no, that's a bad
Oh,
idea.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, that's a bad.
You
idea.
should redo this,
Yeah,
Matt.
look, this is a real painting.
This is a painting that was in Jeffrey's Epstein.
No, it wasn't.
Mansion on Fuck Island.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
What is he? This dude's disturbed.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's some fucking shit going on.
Matt, you have to recreate this painting with your face on it.
Actually,
I should put Danny on there.
yeah. Don't make me get.
I'll put
creative.
it up. I'll put it up on the shelf back there.
Good times.
But yeah, I mean, so one of the things that Sean was saying, he doesn't think that the Clintons are going to be named in the trial at all.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't even think that she doesn't want to rattle that
would be-
cage
that
because
would be
they're
the
on
fucking the golden ticket.
because they're in the Clintons. They're saying the Clintons are close with the whole Biden administration, right?
Right.
So she wants to sort of like keep them in her good graces. So she doesn't want to name them or try to like.
If they're not cutting off the jail time,
You know what's funny is like if Epstein had been alive and gone to trial,
I heard that he had trouble. Go ahead.
if he had gone to trial, like this chick would have probably gotten immunity just to testify against him.
Oh, yeah.
But instead, he takes his life, and she can't get a deal. Like she's like, no, you're going to trial. No, I'll tell you about this guy and this guy and that. You can't get a deal. Like it doesn't matter what she comes up with at this point. They need somebody. They got to get somebody. He's got to get 30 years, so they feel like they got somebody. So they're going to put her on. I'm not saying she didn't do anything. I'm just saying in general, she's
Right,
in a
she coulda got
bad-
off.
She could have probably got off.
yeah, because she was really only the right hand. She wasn't.
She
the
was
right.
the madame,
Right. She's yeah.
the procurer. But I heard recently that
Risque.
Epstein had some shit wrong with him where he couldn't poop.
It's
had-
constipated.
He had something called but there was like a scientific term for it called MS something, like MS-15 or MS-13.
MS-15.
No, they
So-
said he was scared of the
MS-13
MS-13 gang in the
I was,
jail.
I was
Oh, is that a gang?
Oh my god,
gang.
It's like
Thought
the
it-
most ruthless fucking gang.
Is it really? I've never heard of it.
MS-13.
What is MS-13? Teach
They're like
me.
the fucking.
Yeah,
They're like the
bro.
Mexican killing machine.
Really?
gang.
Yeah.
That's.
But
they,
he
like,
was in a
run the
protective.
fucking
Wasn't he in
prisons.
sort of like a? No, I guess he wasn't in protective custody because he was in a cell with like a killer.
Oh no, and
Epstein was
he
in
was
the cell.
scared of MS-13.
I
gang.
heard. So I read that Epstein had some sort of disorder where he couldn't shit, and he was like fucking super stressed out because he hadn't shit in days, and he couldn't shit, especially because he had that fucking violent cellmate he was with.
He's taking pain pills, probably.
Oh yeah, probably.
He's all opioided up.
Opioids constipate you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure they're giving you opiates in prison unless he's buying them. You know,
I'm
unless
sure
he's
they-
buying something that's snuck in. Of course, half the cameras.
But I don't know,
didn't
man.
work,
I've been-
and they're
yeah,
sleeping
the
on
more
the
I
job.
think
It's
died
probably
and
not,
the cameras
probably
didn't
not
work.
hard to get pills in.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that outlandish to think that he did just kill himself.
No, I think he killed himself too.
It's very likely he probably killed himself.
That's what
It's
I
a
think.
coin flip.
Yeah.
Who
But
knows? No, we're not going to figure it out.
but what about, like, I mean,
Would
you know,
love to
is he
bet
going to
on
name
that.
like the crazy thing is who is going to get named in the trial? That's going to be interesting to watch.
I mean, I don't think anything. There's not going to be any, like, you've seen all these programs, like the 60 Minutes and the little documentaries on her and everything else. Like, what else is going to come out? It is what it is. It's
Yeah,
not like
I guess
there's got to
there's
be
only-
no.
yeah.
You know, there's not going to be any bombshells that are going to
No.
hit because it's all out there. Anyway, all you got to do is tell the story that's already being told to the jury and get the people to stand on the, you know, to get on the stand and say the same thing.
Do you know what the charges are against her? There's like a handful of charges, and there's only a couple of people accusing her of the procurement stuff. So I guess it doesn't really
I don't know
have
what
to
the
be
actual
a full
charges. I'm sure Sean Atwood knows the charges. You know?
Yeah, there's only a handful of them, and that only involves a few victims.
Well,
Austin will pull
Austin,
him
what's
up.
she charged with?
Can you pull up her charges?
I mean, it's probably conspiracy to, you know, to traffic minors, you
Yeah.
know, or sex traffic minors, or I'm sure it's all
Yeah,
conspiracy because there's only one girl that said she was in on it. Like
Yeah.
she actually was
brought him in as like a
Right,
massage
right,
therapist or
right,
something.
She brought in her friends,
and she had sex with her too. Like there's only one girl that said she had sex with, was involved in the whole thing.
and they had Jeff Epstein's his housekeeper for 15 years would talk about how he found all the fucked up toys, like giant double-sided dildos, like laying around.
Here's what I don't understand. It's like you know what it reminds me of? It's like this guy Marcus Schrenker. It's like you're already rich. You're already a top tier individual. Like you're at the top of the pyramid.
It's not enough.
It's
Never
not
enough.
bro.
Never
Like, You have
enough.
to do something even crazier. Now I have to have a 3-way dildo and with fucking 14-year-olds. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not enough.
money is a magnifying glass. Just
Then you
makes
get
you
then
more
you
of
get
a
the power, and you just think you can get away with anything.
Right. Well, and the
then
first
they
time he
get
did.
away with it for a long time.
The first time he did, remember, he got charged in Florida, and he
Yeah.
ended up getting what, like a
Nothing.
year? Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and he did it in a cell where you basically just had to spend the night in the cell. You get to come and go as you want.
the new charges, sex trafficking,
conspiracy. Ooh,
Yeah.
I was right. Nice.
sex trafficking of a minor, so one minor.
Right, involving minor victim -4.
victim number 4, maybe victim
number
4.
four.
That's
So
like
there-
a
there's
John Doe name.
So there's 4 victims.
Was around 14 years old.
So
Interacted with
here's the other thing:
court
how come
papers.
how come it's all sketches? How come there's no photos?
Well, you're not allowed to have photos in federal prison or cameras. And in federal court, you're not allowed to have video cameras or photos.
Why though?
I don't know.
Because like the Rittenhouse, I know it was a state thing, but the Rittenhouse thing was live streamed on fucking YouTube.
Well,
This one, there's not even a picture.
You can't.
Well,
you
the
understand?
trial's not going on yet.
You can't get a video.
Yes, it
in a-
is.
It's on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get a federal. You can't get a camera in a federal prison either. Like you cannot go in and take photos. You cannot have an actual
Yeah, but
video camera.
you can if you get like the warden to sign off on it.
Yeah, the warden won't. They never will. Trust me, I had American Greed. I had Dateline.
Really?
Like all of Dateline was able to video me in the U.S. Marshals custody, but not the Bureau of Prisons custody. They made a policy and they decided, and that's it. No.
Well, why wouldn't they? Like, why wouldn't
Okay,
they?
the reason for that is they were doing it up until it was like in the mid '80s when Barbara Walters did an interview or a special on it was called and they called it Club Fed. You heard the term Club Fed. That was the name of their episode for like 60 Minutes or 2020 or whatever it was. No, I think it was 60 Minutes where they were talking about how, look, you've got these guys in a camp. They're playing tennis. They're playing golf. These guys are eating shrimp. These guys are eating lobster. And they were. It was amazing. Like, it was amazing. Like, going to federal prison was great. So
Sign me up.
she does this whole thing. And then it came out. They were like, these guys are being arrested. They're going here. They're eating lobster. They're getting to pick omelets and cheese and extra cheese and this. And then they go off and they play golf in the morning. They go back and
What?
get counted. Then they go play tennis for 2 hours. Then they come back. Then they have TVs in their cell, and so they were like, hey, this is like being at Club. Is this like Club Med? Only they called it Club Fed. And so sure enough, boom, Bureau of Prisons bulldozed the. They
No more, yeah,
the-
made 'em look
bulldozed
bad.
This, it made them look bad.
Yeah.
And they said no more cameras.
Yeah.
From here on out, if that's how the media is going to
Thanks,
portray
Barbara.
us, boom, we're done. So yeah, thanks, Barbara.
Thanks, Barb.
Wow, that's so weird though. Like even the courtroom, like such a high profile case like this.
So they're not filming this trial?
No, there's not even a fucking
They're
photo
not
of
allowed-
it.
They're not allowed to have cameras or anything. I'm
It's
surprised
re-
somebody
red
doesn't.
flag number
somebody-
one.
I'm surprised
I
somebody,
know,
somebody
I thought
doesn't
that.
come in. Somebody didn't come in with like a lapel
they're
type thing
patting
and a
people
camera
down.
or something. Yeah, you're right.
Well, it's almost like they wanted to keep it on the DL from the get go because it's like the Rittenhouse shit was everywhere, and you could barely
Steve.
find anything on the Maxwell trial.
Probably because
Everyone's
there's some
so-
shit they don't want you to hear.
Because the Rittenhouse thing's probably more political, more politicized, more
And it's
political.
just him.
No,
it
this
ain't
is
involved in
Epstein.
fucking big names with powerful names.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
You would think that would be it. That's the conspiracy, at
It's a
least.
distraction.
It is a distraction.
Man,
But the lady who must draw those pictures, she must be fucking quick with it. Could you imagine how fast you have to draw some of those photos of her?
Matt, you could do that.
They're pretty detailed.
I don't know. And they're pastels and
Yeah. She's got watercolors. She got an easel. She's over the like fucking Bob Ross.
How do you get
in the
that job?
courtroom?
yeah, exactly right. Like
What a job that is.
They definitely can't pay you enough for that.
Can you find out what the
What's
find
the
out
salary
or
of
the
that?
person that signs, the person that like does the signing.
Yeah.
Like, do you
or
remember?
the typewriter.
like I wonder what it's called.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
called
hard.
like a courtroom illustrator? Is that what you would call it?
Must be.
Yeah,
But
it
I was
sounds
thinking
right.
the person that does like the ASL, like the American Sign Language, for like the White
The
House
press
Do you-
conferences
yeah.
and shit.
Yeah. Do you remember the one where the guy was doing it and actually couldn't sign at all?
Oh yeah, there's people that get caught
And they're
faking
doing
that
it,
shit
and then
all the
somebody
time.
somebody was like, "What's going on?" They,
Courtroom sketch artist salary, 19
in
to
between
99. That's a hell of a range.
Medium
Yeah, but-
salary, 50 grand. Make $50,000 doing those. I want to see a video of them doing it. Is there a video of it? Probably not, because if they're sketching it, there's no cameras allowed.
I'm sure there is.
How do
They-
you become
they-
a courtroom sketch artist?
Because they did that during like the OJ trial and shit too.
Yeah.
All them big trials.
Yeah.
They were filmed.
Why not just video it? It's so weird.
some
Seems
people
so
want
stupid.
Timeless.
Some people want. Some
Timeless
people
art.
want to sketch. You
Yeah.
go to Disney World. Some people
We'll-
want a little.
We'll be
caricature.
putting all those courtroom sketch artists out of jobs.
Soon those sketches will be NFTs.
Excuse,
Oh.
excuse me, I'm going to be on the
Courtroom
stand in the morning. Can you
NFTs.
sketch me? Sure, $45, no problem.
Yeah. I would have paid for that.
Can you have me doing like running, with the mic? yeah, no problem. They do a whole thing. Can you get the judge in it? Sure.
Were there pictures of Charles Manson's trial?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Remember, there were videos, cameras everywhere. The girls, remember the girls were walking in at the same time, wearing like the same dresses.
His was state though, right? Not
Yeah,
federal.
his
Okay.
was still California state.
Okay. Wow, man, that's so fucking weird. Ghislaine, she's being protected.
Ghislaine.
Oh, look, here's a time lapse of it. Well, I want to see it in real time. She's
What?
so I guess they can sit there for a while. So
Well, they have.
they're
to.
in there
You're
for
not
hours. So I guess they
sketching that
have
out.
time.
Yeah.
What a job.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that job.
I want to get a courtroom sketch artist in here. Ghislaine's. I want to get the one from
we
her
should
trial.
hire a guy to do that while we do a podcast with Matt.
Oh,
where they
my
could just
God,
sketch us.
That would be sick. For every episode, we have a sketch thumbnail.
You need to come up with something
We
else.
should-
You're
we could-
losing.
we
you're
could for
losing
sure
viewers
hire
right now.
somebody
This
that's
is dragging.
People are dropping off.
People are dropping.
hard
This
right
is
now.
dragging right now.
All right, let's see let's watch your video with your
All right,
with
Vice.
your teenage felon. Make this thing small in like the corner or something, so Vice doesn't fuck me. Well, they're probably going to anyways.
They're scamming you out of this.
They're probably going to take all the revenue from this podcast. How
Can you-
ironic would that be?
Got you again.
You want to talk shit? What's her name?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What's her name?
Claudia,
Claudia
Kist.
Kist.
Claudia.
And you know, I've
Kist.
called her. I've called her and left messages like, "Hey, what's up with this? How'd that happen, Claudia?
Yeah.
You want to give me a call?" Nothing.
Nada.
Oh,
Nada.
you sent her this?
No, I've called her and left messages saying, "Hey, I just watched this episode, the Cartel Kid."
Today you sent this to
Yeah,
her.
and I said, which is
Seems
exactly like my the unlikely narco. I said, I'm just wondering how that happened. I'd love for you to give me a call back and let me know what happened. Nothing. Nothing.
Did you have you talked to the kids?
Called
since?
twice. No, he doesn't return. He's not going to return my call.
No.
You know, what's so funny about that is like now what's going to happen is I'm doing a true crime podcast. I've got another deal with these guys in this other production company, right? Like I haven't signed the contract yet. We're still going back and forth. But if assuming I sign the contract, right, that his story is going to be one of those stories. Well, guess what? It could become huge. Now he's going to, you know, he'll immediately be like, "Hey man, that's my story." Fuck you, bro. You didn't have a problem fucking me and Vice, going behind my back on Vice when it came through me and your girl Claudia. And now if his story ends up being something, turns into a series or a movie, I'll do everything I can to fuck him, cut him out.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what are you doing? You know, like, I just don't get how Hollywood does this. When it's like, it's just, there's plenty out there. Why screw everybody over?
Well, it's just like we talked about before
Money.
a million times. Like all the
For an IP, all I wanted was a credit.
Yeah.
You can't. Here's what it would have cost you. Okay, there, Cox's name now shows up. Same thing. Like the 10 grand. Like when she said I went from 20 to 10, I was like, yeah, that's fine.
So whose name?
If she'd come back and said 1,000, do I get the
the credit.
Yeah, the credit. Yes, of course. Yes, you do. Give me $1,000.
Whose name is on the credit?
we got to
Is it Claudia?
Oh my god! Oh
We
my
need to check.
god!
Can you go to the end and see
Yes.
whose name's on it? I got 20 on Claudia as the executive producer.
Like, who's the writer? That's what's funny. It's like,
Executive producer Claudia.
could you imagine?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
by the way, I met that chick. That's who I met with her with Diaz in Orlando.
All right, press play. Give us some volume too.
That's him.
No.
Oh wait, they're showing the credits here.
Executive producers.
I don't even know. Who
Eli
That
Holzman.
doesn't say Matt
Aaron
Cox. I know
Sedman.
that.
No. Well, you got to go back a
Press
little
play.
bit. Who knows?
Or go back a little bit, then press play.
That's
too
way
much.
too much, bro.
Yeah, that's like
That's Diaz.
Right
Look how
there.
fat this kid is. You should have seen him.
Oh, that's Diaz?
Yeah, he's a fat little fucker.
all right. Play it from here.
I want to see where Claudia's name is.
Another. Hold
Haley
on.
Vance.
Matt,
Stop.
they got you on there.
Whoa,
Stop,
whoa,
stop.
You're
Oh.
on there, Matt.
Are
Whoa,
you
are
fucking
you
kidding
serious?
me?
You're fucking on there.
Go
No
back.
way.
Go
I
back.
swear to God.
Stop
Are you
it.
You
serious?
got the
I-
fucking credit, Matt.
These fuckers haven't called me nothing.
Go back. Press play.
I didn't get my 10 grand.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Hold on, it's coming up.
Oh my.
What does it
Like
say?
10 seconds. Right there.
Stop.
Stop.
Pause. Oh
Consulting
my.
producer.
Matt.
Consulting producer.
You fucking made it.
Like, I know consulting producer. What is that? I've never.
Oh my.
Are you serious? You
God.
This
took
just
my-
got so good.
You're the consultant.
That's ridiculous. I didn't. I can't even return. I don't get return emails. I don't get calls.
You have
Nothing.
to call Claudia and fucking thank her now and tell her
not
you're
thanking
sorry.
her.
Now you look like
Absolute-
a dickhead
I-
right now, bro.
I'm a dickhead.
You're the con man consultant.
Shit, first of all, it's not consultant. First of all, it was supposed to be. I was supposed to get a.
I can't believe they put you in there.
I can't believe you even saw that. I didn't even see that because nobody's returned a call. Nothing. That's nuts. Where's my 10 grand, Claudia?
And they didn't even write out Matthew. They just wrote Matt Cox.
Matt Cox. You know why? Like they threw that in there to be like,
Spite you.
oh, I got to call Henry. Hold on, keep that.
Call
We're
him right
taking
now.
a picture of that. Hold on.
Oh
That is
my
fucking
god.
classic.
Get a picture of him standing next to it.
Jerk off. I can't believe that. Hold on.
Oh, Matt Cox is freaking out right now. He walked up to the TV to take photos of his credit on this Vice video.
Unbelievable. Listen, I'm still pissed. Now I'm even more pissed.
You should be happy.
Why?
You didn't even do your you didn't even look to see
Well,
if they put
yeah,
you
a
in the
couple
credits.
seconds ago you
No,
said
but-
if they just gave you the credit, it's all right.
Wait a
It's
minute.
not even about the
First of all,
money.
consulting producer?
It's still a credit, Matt.
Oh, I mean,
It's a producer credit.
Are you sure?
Yes,
for the resume.
It says,
It says
producer.
producer.
It says consulting.
It's a producer credit.
I wrote the goddamn. Oh, look, I don't want to cuss.
Tell him how you feel.
Go back.
Matt.
I want to see if
Tell him
Claudia's
how
on
you
there.
fucking feel.
Keep going.
She stole the story from you, Matt.
Bro, they
Yeah,
did.
no, no,
they
press
took
play.
they took the story. Like I'm not.
No.
I didn't consult on
Play from
anything.
there.
They took it.
Stop.
She threw you in there for good morale.
She threw me in there so that
back
I can't
one.
to try and make sure that I don't sue.
Pause it on every frame where it shows credits. So there's one right before this, like literally a second before this.
What is executive
There's
producer?
Matt.
Pause. No
You
Claudia.
know any of these people? Yeah, where's
No.
Claudia? COVID compliance officers.
I better fucking be in here. Am I in here?
Yeah.
What does it say? COVID compliance
Yeah,
officers?
anybody's getting that credit.
Oh my god, bro! Vice has COVID compliance officers
Oh, I think everybody does. There was a
listed
COVID
in their
compliance.
credits.
Well, you can't assume you get COVID when you walk out of there.
That is fucking priceless. Keep going.
I can't believe this.
I'm
Pause.
They ain't throwing Claudia nowhere in there.
Claudia does not even get a credit. Keep going.
She got paid.
Oh, trust me, Claudia got paid.
Andy Miller, Recreations, Director of Photography, Christina Ortega. Keep going. Jack Renner. Stop.
Look how fat this kid is. If
He
you'd seen
kind of
him,
looks like he's related to Kim Jong.
if you'd seen him in Coleman,
Keep going.
Yeah, skinny.
bro, thin, working out all the time, in great shape.
What if she has like the biggest one at the end?
Legal counsel, Matt. That's who you want to get a hold of. Kimberly Lord, Frankel Whitehead LLP, the law offices of Lincoln Bandlow. No Claudia, bro.
She don't need the credit. She got paid. What if she gave up her consulting credit for you?
She didn't.
Well, where's her name?
Getty Images, Pond 5. That's where the real meat of this thing came from.
Yeah.
Catherine White.
What if she said, "Oh, there's more producer credits."
Keep going.
Yeah, executive.
Nope. Catherine White's been in here a fucking dozen times already.
Yeah.
That's it. No Claudia. Since the filming of this episode, Sheila and Jacob have gone their separate ways.
Who the hell's that?
What about Matt Cox? He's over here texting away.
Triggered, bro. He's
you know,
texting his lawyer right now.
Oh
I'm
my
texting
God.
Henry.
Henry.
What if Claudia said, "You know what? Look, guys, I got the story from Matt. He can take my credit. Just give me the 10 grand. We'll call it even." Maybe she's not that bad.
Yeah, she sounds like a pretty good person.
No,
Bro, she never
fucked
called.
you.
Bro, listen. You know
She
they
gave
put
you
my
a
name on.
producer credit.
Will you stop?
She didn't have to do that.
She
We're talking
actually
about, bro.
did.
I've never heard anything about this. Like I've never heard anything about. And first of all, I wrote the story. I'm an executive producer. I'm not a consultant. Like that's oh no. All right,
Bro, you got to earn your stripes. You can't just jump
earn
in.
my stripes. I wrote the story.
Bro, you can't just
What are you
jump
talking
in.
about?
You can't just be
all right.
you can't just go from YouTuber to executive producer, okay? You got to pay your dues. This is corporate media we're talking about, okay? Not just some little YouTube podcast.
I can't believe they fucking put you on there after all that.
I can't
man.
believe you caught
This
that.
is-
I
know.
just watched the episode.
I
Like,
would have never caught that, honestly.
Not just that. Like
You got
why?
the eagle eye.
Why
got the
wouldn't
salt
she?
eye.
Why wouldn't she? He goes, and they didn't pay you. Henry goes, and they didn't pay you.
You got the credit. Why do you need payment?
No. First of all, look. If I'm talking to you and I'm saying, look, this much money and this, you just blow me off and you give me this and never talk to me again. Come on, bro. That's not a deal.
No, she
You
took
know-
the cheap way out.
Right,
She didn't
right.
have to pay you.
Right. She's thinking,
She copped out.
we gave you this.
That's going to be their
Right,
excuse
right.
when your lawyer calls.
Right. Well, my lawyer's I'm not going to call. I wasn't going to call even if it wasn't there. I wasn't going to call because there's no money in this show and they've got it set up and it's all bullshit and there's no way to get any money out of it.
And you got
anyway.
your credit
Even
anyway.
if you got a portion of the money, how much are you going to get? Like you can't hire a lawyer to get you 10 grand. Like no lawyer is going to be like, I'm going to fight tooth and nail. And in the end, I'm going to get you 10,000. Well, what do you get? You're going to owe me 60.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Give me 10 now. I'll get you your 10.
Oh yeah. Henry's like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's hilarious, man. But that's how it is, though.
Classic.
That's like we talked about before. There's production company heads of production companies and people like Claudia are scouring YouTube for podcasts like this, looking for content to sell to companies like Vice or to sell to Netflix.
I mean, you can't blame her.
You know what
That's
I mean?
her job.
That's what they do. They're like farming for content by watching podcasts.
Yeah. Oh, they are. Listen, bro. I've had almost multiple people, almost not almost everybody, but at least 70-80% is I saw you on Koncrete. I
Right.
saw you on Koncrete. You know, that's why when people are always like, bro, does Danny pay you? I hope you're getting. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? The exposure that Danny gets me is worth anything he could have paid me. Like I was in the halfway house. I mean, I'm not saying I like Danny. We know Danny.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in general, Danny
How dare you.
did me a huge service. Huge. Whether that was his intent or not. He
How dare you question my intention?
But it's washing
irre-
both hands here.
Well, it is, but he did for me to sit here and say, "Oh, I would have done it on my own." No, he irrevocably changed, altered the course of my life. Like honestly, if I hadn't come on the podcast, very good chance right now I'm working at maybe not McDonald's. I'm hoping I could do better.
Starbucks,
I wouldn't mind working at Starbucks.
Barnes and Noble.
I think Starbucks is a hard job, bro. Like those baristas and shit, like they got to know a lot of stuff. I'm not that sharp. I'm not new. I'm not going to learn anything new. I'm all filled up.
Yeah.
Like there's no new stuff coming here. But I mean, I'm probably working at FedEx driving a truck or something. I mean, not that that's
Really?
a bad job. I'm not saying it's a bad job. That's also a hard job. I want an easier. Let's go car salesman. See, I can never say car salesman
you
You
could
would
be
be
a
a
car
great
salesman.
car
because
salesman. man.
listen, my ex-wife's husband is a car salesman.
Just not
And
a truck salesman.
whenever I joke around about it, I'm like, what am I going to be, a used car salesman? She's like, hey.
They make money.
I'm like, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad job.
You couldn't be a mortgage broker, could you?
No.
Oh my God, those guys make money. The guy who got me my mortgage, he is counting money.
I'll tell you what, if he never came on the podcast, Gary Sullivan's coming back right about now.
Yeah. Oh, Gary would have had an appearance. Trust me.
But you took the ball and fucking ran with it like no one else.
I'm trying. Hey, I have a question. What about your deal with the mortgage broker when you called me? You're like, he's charging this much. I'm like, call him back. Say this. Say that.
Yeah.
Say this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's too much. That's this. Plus, ask him about the yield spread. Ask him about. I mean, he was
Oh,
like, hold
yeah.
on, I'm calling right now.
Oh, when I was I do my mortgage broker. I didn't know. I said I've never dealt with them. I've only dealt with a bank for my previous mortgage. I just went straight to the bank. This was the first time I went through a broker.
Right.
So I was seeing all these things. I didn't know what the fuck I was looking at. All these terms I've never heard of. All this stuff. I'm calling Matt every day. Like, what the fuck does this mean? What the fuck does this mean? This guy's scamming me. This guy's squeezing me. Dude, this mortgage broker was so sick of me by the time we were done with this loan. Now I'm calling. Oh my God, bro. He did not know.
He did get you a deal though. I mean,
he watched your
got it
episode
through.
too, and he's a huge fan of yours.
Go figure.
Oh man, yeah, mortgage brokers. That guy is making a killing
I'm sure right
doing
now.
mortgages. He makes like 10 to 20K a mortgage,
That's crazy.
and he's banging out a couple of them a month.
Is it the Pollock?
No, that guy's making way more than that. That guy's making millions of dollars. That guy sells the most like top high-end houses in town.
Yeah.
Henry's like, you could definitely sue.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
not
sue him.
suing anybody. It's funny he says this because a week ago he
Who
told
the
me.
fuck is Henry? Is that your agent?
No, he's the
He's a
guy.
consultant.
No, no, he's a director producer, and he's the one with the.
The Boziak deal.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll show you that when we're done. You'll. It's good. I think.
Let's just show it to everybody.
No, what are you doing? Henry, the fact that I'm mentioning
That's
this right
what's so
now.
weird. The whole Hollywood thing is so like hush hush, keep
Right.
it zipped up. It's top secret.
Well, do you remember when I told you about that? Remember the first 60 days or first 30 days, that thing? Remember that?
First 48?
No, there's a show called like
60
90
days
days in. 60 days in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something, or it might be 90.
Right. So, you know, the main guy on there, the black guy, he's like the main guy on the whole show, right? He's actually used to be a police officer. And so he contacted me and said, look, the NBC or whoever it was is thinking about doing a show, and everybody's telling me you should be my co-host. Are you interested? I mentioned it on the podcast one time, like 6 months ago, whatever. After I mentioned it, somebody screenshotted the whole thing and sent it to him, and he called or he texted me. He's like, bro, did you mention me on a podcast or the thing? And I was like, yeah, why? You didn't tell me it was a secret. He's like, yeah, I wish you shouldn't have done that, bro. It's like,
Those people are so
Why?
fucking weird, man.
but he's not even like, he's just he's just like a guy on the show.
What do you have to hide? What do you care?
Right, he's like, yeah, that's not a for sure thing. I said, I didn't say it was a for sure thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they don't want this. And I was like, okay, well, then you should have said that. Well, you should know. What do you mean I should know?
That's the thing. So like the establishment Hollywood type people, they don't want
want it
to be
leaked
mixed
out.
in.
Yeah, but I don't get it. Like, if there's a deal happening and it falls through, it falls through. Like, what?
They don't want it to fall through.
Well, I mean, but me saying it doesn't mean it's going to fall through. If it was real, if it was for real, it was going to happen one way or the other. That's the way I feel. You know, it's the same thing. I get this all the time, where I get these guys are like, "You got to sign an exclusive agreement with us today." Well, why? Well, we don't want you out there doing this. Okay, well, if it doesn't cover what we're doing, then why do you not want me talking about other things? Well, we only want you dealing with us. Well, wait a minute. I've written other stories. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but we only – it's like, stop, bro. Like, any publicity I get from me is only going to spill over to you. So you're saying you want exclusivity, which limits your publicity, where I'm saying – you're saying, no, yeah, but it makes ours more valuable. And I'm saying I make you more money by being out here giving you more exposure. You could make the same – there's two different arguments. Well, yeah. Some people will say, no, you're right, that is the better way. Like, there's the argument – there's people on both sides of that same argument. It's just people get crazy.
It's just greed, right? It's just all it is. It's just greed.
No,
it's just like
scared. Or
we want to be the exclusive.
They got some guy like Harvey Weinstein who's like, if anybody talks about your story, we don't want it.
Right? Yeah. Look how things ended up with him. He made some good decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that video
just like
of him?
Kevin Spacey?
Did you ever see that video of him talking with that girl? The girl?
No.
There's a video of him talking where she actually came in and like videoed, or either she had a video or there was a video on, and he's talking to her. So comes off so creepy. I mean, he's all like, "So this is gonna be a good deal for you, you know, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, no, I appreciate it." He's like, "Yeah,
really?
Yeah." Oh, it's horrible.
Like, look up your address on public records. Creepy.
Not that creepy. That's
okay.
Is
this video? Where's this video? Is this video on
that's
YouTube?
over the line.
That was super creepy, by the way. You don't do
stop
that.
with the.
You don't do that. That is creepy. You don't look up some girl's address on fucking property appraiser website and show up at her house.
She could be dead.
Yeah, I mean that's the only. I was gonna say the only out you got is she could have something bad could happen to her.
I knew she'd. I knew nothing bad happened. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I didn't think she was laying in a puddle of urine. She couldn't move or anything.
And your ex-wife talked you up to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I you know,
find that video of Harvey Weinstein. I want to see that now.
Yeah, it was a part of a documentary, but it may just be on here. It might be just.
Wow. What would you search? What would you type in the search?
Harvey Weinstein interview girl.
Is he interviewing her?
No. So she came to. She was trying to sell something to him. I don't know exactly what. Like pitch some kind of product or something to him, and he's in his office, like, or maybe they're at like a conference table or something like. And he's all leaning in and he's breathing hard, and he's
just type in like Harvey Weinstein meeting with girl security footage.
It wasn't secure. Like, I think one of the two of them was videoing it. I think she may have been videoing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Listen, creepy. Of course, you can see the guy and know he's creepy, but it was so over the top. It's like, what? Like, is this working for you, Harvey? I mean, why don't you just offer money?
That looks like your girl, bro.
I was just going to say
that looks like her.
This is Melissa Thompson.
Is this it?
It's September
No.
2011.
Wait.
28-year-old.
Wait till they go to the footage.
Yeah, this may be it.
She's here to pitch her tech startup company's new video platform.
Oh yeah, it's got to be.
Oh, she's pitching something.
Oh, she does. She puts a.
Melissa has agreed to talk me through it.
Full screen this, Austin.
She's expecting a meeting with the marketing team, but Weinstein arrives alone, asks staff for privacy, and locks the door.
Locks the door.
She says that a few hours after this, he raped her.
Damn.
He did what?
Raped her a few hours later. She's finer than frog hair right there.
How are you?
Look. Okay. What do you do? Oh boy.
How's your day? I was thinking, okay, he's hugging me. What do I do now? I was thinking I have to be a little bit more vigilant in this situation than I originally thought. Melissa and Weinstein have met briefly once before, but this is their first formal encounter.
So how was it for you?
We'll see. A little bit.
Not much.
Say, is it all right if I flirt with you?
No, it's okay. So
what do you want anyway, he says.
And we do so many things, so I have a lot to say.
Every time that he towed the line of being inappropriate enough where I may have said something, he could sense it, and he pulled back and he changed the dynamic again.
Let's say I wanted to show a trailer, you mean, of
Yeah.
my movie. You know what I mean? Like I have the Marilyn Monroe movie.
So let's talk about Marilyn Monroe movies. People who would be
He's all
interested in
coked
that
up.
movie,
Hell yeah.
who would be interested in that movie? Okay,
But I'm
so
actually seriously.
Why is she leaning in so much?
Right.
She's playing into that.
Yeah, she is.
let's try to take it back. Okay, so we're gonna buy space. We're gonna buy ad space on Vogue.com.
Do you think you might have encouraged him? I don't think I purposely encouraged him. At first, I tried to.
Well, I was rubbing
Well, at
his
least she
leg.
admits it.
I was rubbing his leg.
You know, if he would make a comment, I would try to catch it and return it in a way that felt a little safer than the way he threw it at me. Now I see he's trying to, in any way you can, move me into that zone of comfortable then uncomfortable, confused and
Yeah, I saw this
vulnerable,
was just the
and
tape.
recognizing that he's powerful and I'm not.
And this isn't
that
the one I saw.
need this deal from him, and he's gonna
Dude, I mean, it's just human nature.
We can have like to win.
Yeah, they're both trying to play each other.
They're both trying to play each other.
Right.
She's trying to get money, and he's fucking a horny old guy with a lot of money.
Okay, and then I'm gonna use your service
Good.
on Marilyn Monroe.
Good.
And then, you know, you can sign me up, tell your boss.
And so he's going from.
Oh, this is the part where he's look.
using this platform to
Nice.
then put his hand up under the table, up my dress. I was trying to save face of it. At first, I was trying to kind of manage the situation. There was a combination of confidence and naivety that led me to, you know, this dynamic that we see now.
Data's so hot, right?
What's that?
Data's so hot.
It is hot.
A little bit. A little high. It's a little high. It's a little high. So another thing I was thinking is.
That's a little high.
I don't know how much you learned about, but the Sarah Jessica.
I mean-
Skyrocket. Some kind of app thing.
Do you see
Look at
what,
him
like
rubbing her
what,
arm.
do you see what I'm saying? He's
Yeah, he's
look,
creepy as fuck.
In the trailer, they wanted people to be able to buy her clothing. So they partnered
like
with
you're in a
Vogue.
business. She's trying to keep it
Yeah, she don't want to lose him.
right. I mean, he's a cash cow,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The product.
I'm gonna go ahead and a movie, but I'll meet you somewhere. Meet you for a drink. It's 3:34. And 4:30 trip I could grab.
Were you under the impression that meeting was?
Yeah, I mean, she met him for a drink afterwards.
So it wasn't.
And now she says that
It wasn't an invitation.
that he raped her after they had drinks together. So they both got drunk and then he raped her.
Within blocks of the office.
I don't know.
That's probably true.
You see, I mean,
I mean,
I don't
I'm
think
just
it
wondering-
makes it,
I'm
almost
just
makes it
wondering
sound
how-
like you're justifying.
I
it.
mean, I'm not. I'm just
She
saying.
had 2
I'm just
drinks.
saying- I mean,
Your
define.
Honor!
What do you mean he raped her? Like, did she? I mean, she had sex with him and then she regretted it really bad the next day, and she got the fucking bag. What?
I
She
don't
got
know.
herself in
I
too
didn't
deep,
see.
man.
I didn't see this. What I saw
Yeah.
was the whole video. I
Right,
didn't.
but
see
she's claiming that he raped her.
This is a cut up
she is.
version where she's doing it. They show the last part where he's, and he's all leaning
I would love to see
in,
the YouTube
touching
comments
her
on
and-
this fucking thing. I bet the YouTube comments are a fucking blast on this video. No, it's fine.
I think it has 4 million plus views.
Let's read the top YouTube comment. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're turned off. No. Why?
They were too good. When they get too good, they shut them off.
No. I want to see the comments, god damn it. She walked herself right into that. I'm not saying
Well,
she
she got herself
I don't know
in
if she
too
got
deep,
raped or
man.
not, but
Take me off this podcast, please. I can't be associated with some of Danny's comments.
what do you mean?
She walked herself right into
She
that.
did.
That
You see her?
rape. She walked herself right into that
Yeah,
rape.
she said she got raped, but who knows the truth? You know, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's good to
I
be
mean,
raped.
Harvey's got
Rape is
quite-
not. Let me get this straight. Rape's not good. Okay, I've said this before, but you don't know what.
But
the truth is.
sometimes
you don't know what the truth
sometimes
is.
you're asking for it. Is
But after
you
two
had
drinks,
2 drinks.
it's questionable.
You had 2
What I'm
drinks. You went
saying
back
is,
to
there's
his.
a lot. There are cases where girls have claimed rape that they've been raped when they were
Oh, there's-
blackout
oh, yeah,
drunk,
yeah.
and they were
There's-
both blackout drunk.
There's cases where the girl wasn't raped at all. She simply said it so that she
Right.
could sue.
right. That's all.
Did
I'm
you ever
saying.
see the one at
Bill
the
Cosby.
school? Would you see the one at the school?
No.
Where the girl says that the guy raped her on school premises, and then her parents sued the school, and then the guy went to trial and lost, and he went to prison for 10 years. Then he gets out after loses his college scholarship, everything. Gets out after 10 years of going to state prison as a rapist.
State prison?
Gets out, and the girl hits him up on Facebook and starts talking to him, and then admits on Facebook that she lied on Messenger. She's like, well, I mean, yeah, I'm sorry about these. Like, why did you say all that? You know that's not true. And she says, I mean, you have to understand, we sued the school. We got, my parents got to sue the school, and we made $2 million or whatever it was.
Was she gonna break him off at all, or
No. Then he realizes she's crazy that she even
She's
admitted that.
confessing.
So he invites her to his house because she's trying to hook up with him.
no?
Oh yeah, he videotapes the whole
She's out
thing.
of control.
This is a whole thing. This is
Really? This was
was
like
on
a serial
This was
podcast.
on 2020
Yeah.
or 60 Minutes or something
Yeah.
like that. And then he invites her. He gets her on tape recording it. And then they eventually get his whole record expunged. And then some college gave him a tryout because he had lost his real college. College days.
Too late now, 10 years later.
10 years
bud.
later. And you know what happened to her?
No, what happened to her? That was my next question.
Nothing.
Come on.
Wow.
They didn't try to get the money back at least or
Stop
something?
it.
No, I mean they didn't charge. To me, she needs to go do fucking 10 years. In
How
Oh,
much
yeah.
did they pay this guy? How much did the
They probably
government
gave
pay
him
this guy?
nothing.
Oh, probably. I don't
No,
have any
people
idea.
get-
I mean, he could pull it. How hard is it to find? This
Bjorn-
was on 60. This was on CNN too. I remember. I was in prison and we saw it on CNN. That's how I know about it.
The government does pay people who are wrongly convicted.
shot.
There's people that
That
get
old
off.
age shot.
About 5 or 10 years.
There's people who get off who basically get proven, where it's
that's
unequivocally
not what
proven
happened to him.
that they were put in jail,
Falsely accused.
Yeah.
falsely accused, and they get out, and then they get millions of dollars from the government, but
Right.
they have to fight tooth and nail.
Oh, yeah.
to get that money.
A lot of times,
And you have to get proven that. He did his time and then exposed a situation.
right.
That's a different scenario.
But-
Right after he did his
but-
time.
but
yeah.
then
He
again,
didn't
you have
get
to-
let out because
You also have to think:
innocent.
how does he sue? How does he sue the state
my
when the
God.
state is going to say
he got fucked.
we believed?
Right.
We believed her.
Right.
You can't really. How do you sue us when
Right.
this is what she said? We simply
got
presented
convicted.
what she said to the jury. The jury made that
She
decision.
lied. But
It's
she
on-
should
it's
get
on
some
her.
perjury or something, right?
I don't know. Can Austin find it? I'm telling
Austin
you,
can
it's
find anything.
yeah. Austin, he was basically you could put he's a
College athlete,
college athlete,
falsely accused of rape.
falsely
That's it.
right. That's it. That
10
should be-
years.
yeah. His record was expunged. Yeah, and I'll bet you. Listen, there were videos on it and everything. It's on on CNN. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it.
Why?
What is it?
What is it? It's-
Assaultine?
Oh, what are you doing?
Give it a big
Oh.
one.
Don't. Oh my God. Are you insane?
Woo! One more.
What is it called?
Let me see it.
That can't be legal.
Oh, yeah, it's legal. Weightlifters using shit. Athletes.
TikTok people use it.
YouTubers.
Oh my
Are you? You,
Yeah.
bro.
We're from Florida over here.
No, it's bad, man. It's bad.
My heart rate just increased fucking 20-fold.
What is it?
Smelling
It's just
salts.
salt. It's just salt.
Oh, okay.
Crazy ass salt. Put this on some chicken.
Did you find it?
You gotta close your eyes. It burns your
Yeah,
eyes.
burned my eyes.
I want one more.
College athlete, 3 times more like. No, that's not.
That's legal crack.
Woman who made false 1 year. This chick didn't get anything. athlete falsely accused.
We're never gonna
Can
find
you
it,
put
man.
college
How long
student
ago
gets
was this?
10 years?
It was probably 10 years ago. You know what you could put? Wait. What about this? Put oh God, you put college athletes. No, just athlete.
Get rid of loose scholarship. Put 10 years
Yeah.
for false rape.
10 years. College athlete. 10 years for false rape
I don't know
claim.
that he got 10 years. He might have got
There you go.
15 or 16.
There we go. Football star exonerated.
Exonerated.
Brian
That's it.
Banks.
After
10 years, huh?
of
I think it said.
wrongful.
Oh, I thought it said something
We need to
about
get this
5.
guy on here, bro.
God, I was just kind of guessing at the 10 years.
Who are you? That was a great fucking guess, Matt Cox. And he went to state prison too, which is
Yeah.
way worse
Oh,
than the feds.
Of course.
Is this him?
A prisoner, an inmate, a felon, a convict,
Wow.
an additional 5 years on strict custody parole as a ready for sex offender, being called all types of names and
Turn it up a little bit.
to be in that courtroom May 24th, 2012, was the final hearing of the district attorney's office proceed to the matter, deeming you factually innocent. And there's a difference. You know, innocent is like, we don't have enough to come after you. Factually innocent is, we made a mistake, we messed up. You should have never been arrested.
Oh, he spent 5 years? Are we sure?
5 years on probation.
Huh?
5 in prison and 5 in probation, it said.
16. What?
Damn, they fucked his
Oh, he
whole
played for
life
Long
up,
Beach
bro.
Poly, bro. He played for the same school Juju did.
Committed to USC on a full scholarship. I chose to go to a known makeout spot. This girl that I've known for 7 years. And in this makeout spot, we kissed, we touched, we made out. But by the end of that day, I was being arrested and accused of sexual assault and kidnapping.
No, this isn't the. I don't think this is the same guy. But, I mean, because the girl,
Was she white?
I don't know. Falsely accused of rape.
California
No.
Innocence. Yeah, I've heard of that California Innocence Project.
Yeah,
before.
no, this is not the right guy because this guy, it happened.
It's the same exact story, Matt.
No, but this, I remember it happened. This happened like on school property because she talked about suing the school.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and she admitted to it on Facebook. She, like she contacted him on. Maybe we should put Facebook in there, in the search.
Bro, I mean, how often do you think this shit happens?
Probably
God,
a lot.
A lot.
A
Probably a
lot.
lot more.
They tried to do it to my man Big Ben.
Big Ben Roethlisberger, yeah. But I mean, that's different when you got money too. Like people
Can you
try
put
to.
Facebook in the search?
Put the girl admits it or something.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's the thing. It happens a lot. Like it's got to be, you know, it's human fucking nature. Like girls like that, just like the girl who was talking to Harvey Weinstein, who's looking to sell her business to him. You know, he's a powerful, rich guy,
Right.
or whatever. He's an old pervert, right? She's playing into it as far as she can without going too far. Like
Right.
obviously, she doesn't want the guy to fucking finger bang her right there.
Well, look, the guy was rubbing her shoulder and slipped his hand up her dress. She said that's a little high.
little high.
And then she met him for drinks after.
Right,
She
and then
didn't
she
have
went-
to go
yeah.
there after. She
Right.
knew what the fuck he was doing.
That's my point. And then
I mean, that's
it's not out of
I'm
the
not
realms
saying
of
it's
possibility.
okay.
Yeah, it's not okay. It's
but
not.
she had some chances to get out of that.
Yeah. No. She was definitely taking a risk, but
Yeah.
the rape, like I'm wondering to myself.
She weighed the risk reward, and it didn't pay out.
It's
It
just
didn't-
like
okay,
it's
then it
just
didn't
like
pay out,
it's
definitely.
just like the
Went
Marilyn
bad,
Manson
yeah.
thing. It's just like the Marilyn Manson thing. Marilyn Manson's ex-girlfriend came out saying that he did all this weird, sick and twisted, demented shit sexually to her, but you're getting involved in a sexual relationship with this guy.
Right.
Right.
What did
What
you
the
right.
fuck do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Okay,
You think
I'll
you're
give
going to
you
come
that.
into a bed of
Right.
roses?
Right. I'll give you that. Like this. Look at this guy. This is, and yeah. Come on. I mean, and then it's it's like a progressive thing. Suddenly it's suddenly saying, "Well, let's get
Yeah.
a vibrator." Okay. And next thing you know,
Let's light your nipples on fire.
He's handcuffing you, leaving you in a trunk for fucking 2
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
It got a little weird.
yeah, you made some bad decisions, and the next day you changed your mind. That doesn't mean you can fucking put this guy in prison for 10 years. Not saying that's the case all the time, but I'm sure it's a lot of the time.
anything.
Nothing.
Facebook. Nothing.
Not really. It's just giving me the same.
It's okay.
Nah.
It's all right.
Yeah, we get
Still.
it.
But he went to the same school Juju did, bro. That's crazy. Same high school, and he was going to go to USC. That's nuts.
What about this? What about this? Wait, Austin. Exonerated rapist gets he gets a
Girls'
tryout.
confession.
He got a tryout. He got a tryout to a university or football tryout. Football. What do you call it when you get the
Tryout.
football? So he gets a football tryout. Try that. He's exonerated rapist gets football tryout. Like that's got to narrow it down pretty good.
Where did you see this? On TV?
I mean, I saw it on TV, but even since then, I'd seen it again somewhere. And it was definitely because I definitely remember because the girl, they sued the school. Like it happened on school premises, and the girl sued the school. That was the big thing. Was she set it up.
got
She
money from the school.
She knew if I'm raped on the school premises, we'll be able to sue on the school. It has to be at the school.
Right.
So
Yeah, true.
you know, and she knew that. So she, you know, and the fact that this guy ended up going to prison. Like she was like, well, I mean, yeah, but we got to sue the schools. Like she was. He was even saying like she had no idea what she'd done to me. Like she was acting like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry about that. Like, do you want to hook up? You want maybe we could date? Maybe we could.
Yeah, that's
All the
stupid.
articles are that same exact guy.
That's
Is
so
it?
fucking
Because he
dumb.
got it. They said he got a tryout with the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh,
after
really?
that.
So maybe
It's got to
Oh,
be.
it's
this
got to
guy.
be him.
It's
Okay,
gotta be.
okay. Well, somehow the girl sued. I remember that was a big part of it.
Wow.
Wow. Somehow or another, she's
Yeah,
Maybe
it's him
you're-
because look, the girl's name is Winetta Gibson. School district settled the lawsuit by paying Winetta and Wanda $1.5 million.
1.5 million. So I knew it had something to do with the school. I knew
So I
she
wonder
sued
if
the
the
school.
school- went
Juanetta
back.
refused to repeat her story in court that exonerated Brian. Thankfully, the video did that work for her.
Oh yeah, because he videoed her
Is
telling
the
him.
video
It's
available?
that guy.
The video's got to be out
Oh,
there.
it's got to be like he sneaks. He gets video of her saying,
And it
Well,
says
I
he didn't
mean-
press charges on her. Oh, yeah, it's on here. Winetta Gibson confession video. Type that in.
Oh
Nice.
my god.
he didn't press charges.
It says, why didn't Brian Banks press charges?
Oh no,
against
she's
the
got.
accuser?
I'm sorry, she's got to go.
Oh, she's got to go.
No, she's got to go.
Not only am I
I
pressing charges.
I press charges. I
I'm
mean,
going
and
all
I'm-
the way.
Yeah, and I'm typically the guy to be like, hey, look, you know, I get it. What it was a long time ago. Like I'll
Get
let
the
things go.
confession, yeah.
You don't send me to prison for being a rapist. Make 1.5 million.
It does.
Oh
there's-
no.
This is
There's
the
another
girl?
video that says school district sues Brian Banks accuser.
Nice.
You know, doing false reports of rape needs to ask the woman closest to them in their lives about this. Ask a woman that you know if she would do that, or if she thinks that other women would do that, and you will get the answer no.
He's Brian Banks, the high school football star whose life was derailed when he was convicted of rape, a rape he didn't commit.
And this is the private eye.
Fast forward. Let's find the video. Just keep going. Just just hover over it. There you go. There's the video.
Yeah, right there. Keep going.
Played football with Brian
It's
Banks at
coming.
Long Beach Polytechnic High in 2002.
You know Snoop
That's
Dogg.
her.
False rape
You know Snoop Dogg coaches that football team.
family got $1.5 million settlement from the school district, and Banks got 5 years in prison and 5 more on parole, shackled with an ankle monitor. So I know I'm not behind bars, and I know I'm not.
He's gonna charge up like a Tesla.
Still very much incarcerated. Then last year, Brian Banks got a Facebook friend request from Juanetta Gibson.
Mr. Banks called my son, Freddie, and asked him, what should I do? My son naturally says, hey, you got to call my dad and I'll help you with this. Once I was able to read the case, there was no doubt in my mind that this young man was innocent.
Parrish devised a plan to clear Brian Banks' name. He wired his office
We had a pin like this
with hidden cameras
sitting in this pin holder.
and with microphones.
We had put the audio device in that tree right there behind me. So
The private eye suggested
So,
Banks first
let me ask you
emailed
this.
his office for a friendly chat about their past.
Is he a snitch now?
Brian Banks asked
He's a lawyer. It's his job.
No, the guy.
What guy?
The guy who got
Brian
accused.
Banks?
afraid of losing
Is he a snitch?
from her settlement.
Big Herc would say he is.
Now comes the hard
Oh,
part.
what'd she say?
To convince Gibson to come back the next day and talk to the private eye who was helping free him.
I needed to get her to basically recant every everything that she said that Brian did.
She said this shit in a lawyer's office.
This lady is really
Yeah, but they're. I for some
Hello.
reason I thought he videoed it, but I guess not.
Investigator Parrish's questioning got heavy.
But they did hide the video.
Now the big question. When she said those things, what did you say?
cha-ching.
He must have been fucking. He must have been ready to jump out the window
yeah.
when she said that.
Needed to go back to court, and that undercover video got Brian Banks.
Oh yeah, he's fucking. He's happy, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. He's been accused of being a fucking rapist.
Bro, he went 5 years in jail as a rapist.
and had to register as a sex offender.
He was probably just so happy that it was all
Oh,
over.
my god.
Parrish has had big celebrity cases and well-known clients, but this assignment had a different kind of payoff.
Now, I had an opportunity to make a difference in a man's life.
And finally, what about Juanetta Gibson, who got
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what happened.
after making a false accusation? We asked the DA's office and the school district if they plan to try and recover it. They wouldn't comment. But Banks' lawyer and Private Eye say most of that $1.5 million settlement
Has been spent on Gucci.
No shit. She's already broke by the time she gave the interview.
She blew the 1.5 in 5 years.
And said, fuck it, I lied.
It is thought that she's gone through, or her family's gone through most of that money. In fact, when she showed up for that meeting, she took a bus. Didn't even have a car to drive.
She took a bus. She was already broke. I told you.
God. Look at him.
One step closer to making his dream a reality. After taking to
Playing for the Hawks.
Cincinnati,
The Dirty Birds.
hitting off a block and making a play.
He actually played.
That's sick.
It happened. Now it's just replaying in my head.
But this is no ordinary rookie. Banks joined the Falcons after spending
That's sick.
5 years in jail and 5 on parole. Why? He was wrongly convicted of raping a high school.
Oh my God. What an insane fucking story.
Yeah.
Bro.
That is crazy, bro.
That's nuts. Oh,
People are
man.
fucked up, man.
Right? Like, how that chick, like, she's, like, okay with it. Like, she seems
She
like...
was
I mean,
okay
it
with
could have
it.
been way worse, bro. He could have gotten way worse than 5 years. Like, it could have been so
Oh, yeah.
much worse. I wonder how many people have been, like, got life or got
Could
way
you
longer.
imagine?
What if he got-
How many people that are in prison for, like, decades or life are innocent, I wonder?
Oh, tons.
That's got to be a huge percentage.
I doubt it's ton. I mean, I doubt it's probably even 1%. But
What?
It's still a lot. It,
1% is a lot.
It doesn't matter. That's a lot. Like
Yeah.
if it's you,
If it's 1%, it's a lot.
so, yeah. If
Let
it's,
me
yeah,
ask
yeah,
you this.
yeah,
If you're part
right.
of the 1%,
How many people that get the
There's a lot of
death
people in
penalty?
prison.
How many people that get the death penalty?
that actually get.
that's probably-
Could you imagine getting? Could you? First
There-
of all,
that
A
has
lot of
happened.
people.
I was gonna say,
a lot,
could you imagine being accused of rape and you didn't
Yeah.
do anything? Like,
Yeah.
how do you bounce back?
What
from
about
that?
the
How
story
do
of those 4 black kids in New York from a long time ago got accused of raping and I think killing that girl, and a couple of them ended up getting like executed in prison and shit, and then like years and years later they all got found innocent.
Oh,
like
man.
the Brooklyn 5 or the Brooklyn 4, they did a Netflix documentary on it and everything.
Really?
4 black kids got accused of raping some girl. They all went to prison for like life.
How did they find out that they were innocent?
I don't remember. You have to look it up. It's like one of the biggest cases of that. They did a
That's-
Netflix movie and everything.
That's the crazy thing. This guy Bjorn that comes on the podcast, he's a lawyer and he deals with a lot of people who get the death penalty. And he there's not just one or two of them. There's a lot. There's a handful of people I think every year that get exonerated that are on death row.
But for all those people, how many didn't get exonerated and get electrocuted?
right, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
that's the amount of people on death row that are innocent is crazy.
Yeah, read this one. I think see if those guys got executed or died in prison or something. Yeah, the jogger. And they just pinned like these 4 young black kids on it. Or 5 of them actually, I think.
Round up the usual suspects.
5 Latinos, convicted, 5 males. Keep going. Charges, convictions. Hold on, go back up a little bit. Right down. The verdict on the side here and convictions. Serve it good. Click serving time over there on the left. Keep going up.
Well, we
number
can't-
9.
If we lived in China, Matt Cox would have been executed years ago.
Probably true.
It's true. Fraud is the death
I don't know,
penalty.
maybe
in
they
China.
didn't get the death penalty. Maybe they got out.
And I don't care if they got 6 months.
Yeah.
For rape. That for a rape you didn't commit.
Yeah.
That is the to me, I think, the most sound argument against the death penalty is how much they fuck
Yeah,
up.
they were juveniles.
It's how much they fuck it up. Like, of course, if you did that, if you fucking raped and killed somebody's kid, or if anybody for that matter, the death penalty, you should definitely get the death penalty. Like, kill that motherfucker. But the problem is they get it wrong so much. So often.
It's crazy, man. There's a Netflix movie on it or something.
Bummer.
Bummer, bro. Bummer.
Imagine you're just fucking walking down through the
hating
park,
life, bro. I
and
don't know if
suddenly they grab you. The cops are like, "Come on, we got you."
Yeah, and the
Caught
lady
me for
and
what?
the lady says, "Yeah, that's him."
Oh yeah, and then can you imagine you
that's
go
him
to
right there.
You go to trial and she's sitting there pointing, "Nope, I'll never forget that man's
Yeah.
face when he." What are you
How
talking
did
about?
I get here?
Like what? I was walking my dog.
Yeah.
I have a dog.
You ever seen the Khalif Browder story?
No.
Who's that?
That young kid that they said he stole something because he had a backpack on, and he ended up going to Rikers for a bunch of years, and they got security footage of like just all the inmates jumping and beating him, and he finally ended up getting proved innocent, got out, and he was so fucked up that he ended up hanging himself in his house. People on the street were still fucking with him when he got out, but there's security footage of him in Rikers where like.
And what was he convicted of?
Like theft, small arm theft or something. Somebody stole a backpack and he had a backpack on, and they locked him up, threw away the key.
God,
There's a huge
bro.
one. Like Jay-Z did his movie and shit. And
I always love it when the cops are like, "Well, the tire prints, match."
Yeah,
like
yeah.
tire, they made 40,000 of these tires.
He had the same boot on.
What are you talking
Dude.
about?
He had the same Nike Air Forces on.
Like, I'm sorry, there's 100,000.
They sold
of
$1
them.
billion last year.
Who's the guy that we talked about? Who's the prosecutor who was in the case, the California case?
Oh, Dershowitz?
No. We did an episode about
Robert Mueller.
Mueller. That's the thing. There's guys
Mueller,
like
yeah.
Robert Mueller who their only motivation in life is just to put people in prison just to
And
make
to
more money.
get ahead.
And they're
Right.
good at it.
Yeah, they're good. They're good at doing that. And they want to climb the ladder, and then these people become the victims of it, bro. God, that's so fucked.
Oh, this is thoroughly depressing.
It really is.
Yeah, we gotta we gotta turn it around.
At least we're not in China though.
Why do you keep going back with the China?
We had a whole China. We talked about China last time.
We did.
And
I read the comments on that. They were funny as fuck.
were they?
Yeah.
Bro, it's
Some people were like, "Oh my god, I didn't believe Matt knew so much about China."
Oh, and what are you talking about? Other people were saying stuff like this guy doesn't know enough to speak intelligently on the subject. Like
They're probably talking
there was
about me.
No, me. The guy was talking about me. He's like, honestly, I think he was saying both of us. Like these guys don't know enough to be talking about this. But there were other people who were saying, absolutely, China's taking over. They were going nuts.
Bro, the comments
were
were
good
made.
on
I
that.
love the fucking comments. Some people that come on here, they get like really, really upset about the comments.
Yeah.
Like they'll be like, I don't know if I can do this emotionally.
I read your comments.
Do you know who Wes Watson is?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Sounds
from
familiar,
you.
but I'm not sure.
Huh?
You talked about him before.
Yeah, so I did it was a reactionary video to Wes Watson, and I did one to Big Herc too. This is funny. So remember, I go to so the Big Herc one. I went to California, met Big Herc, was interviewed on Big Herc's channel, and on his channel, when we get to the point where I get arrested, I'm like, right, I got arrested. And so, my lawyer comes to me and she's like, look, your only choice is to cooperate because otherwise you're getting like, whatever it was, 30 years or 40 years or something. And I was like, and he's like, oh, the look on his face like, can't believe she said that.
Yeah.
I said, right. So and I looked at him and I said, so he I forget how it came out, but I said, so I basically tried to tell on everybody I could think of, but it just didn't work. And he went,
He starts sweating.
oh, he was like, what? I said, yeah, bro, like I told on everybody. It just didn't work. So I ended up pleading guilty. I got 26 years. You snitch on him, motherfucker? I'm like, yeah. Who? Bro, everybody I could think of, man. I mean, it just didn't happen. Just
I
didn't
found
work for
people
me.
to snitch on.
I was like, try it. I said I had to go to prison and find the guy. You know what I'm saying? So I go through the whole thing. I mean, listen, his video, after a year, had gotten 38,000 views.
On that?
On that. A year later, guys are still fucking with me in the comments saying, bro, Cox, you have to do a reactionary video to that video.
Yeah.
So I do a reactionary video to his video. My video got like, it's like 40, I think it got, I don't know where it is now, but it was at one, like, it was at 45,000. Like my reactionary video
More
to
than
your
his video.
Then his video shot from 38 started going up. It went up to like 42, 40. I don't know where mine is
Did
now.
he call you back and thank you?
No, we'll never talk again.
Really?
The only reason I did it is
Really? He took it that seriously?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
No, listen. The only reason I even did it is because guys, got a bunch of comments because I was just gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of comments that said, "Hey, he just did another video where he talks about, yeah, man, this white collar dude came on here. He lied to get on the program. That's a fucking lie. Like I didn't lie to get on your program." I even addressed it to him saying, hey, you know my story, right? Like, I'm not your normal guy that you have in your program. Have you? And he goes, no, bro. I've seen your stuff on that Koncrete thing. I've seen it. I've researched your stuff. I know your story, bro. Like, I haven't seen every story, but I've seen your interviews. And I thought, he said, so no, I want you on the podcast. So I thought, oh, I'm good.
He didn't watch them.
He didn't. He obviously didn't
He
watch.
caught a couple clips of you being a con man. That was it.
Exactly.
He
So
saw your episode had 2 million views. He's
Yeah.
like,
That's
let's
what he
get him
cared.
on,
Yeah. So then he did, then in the middle of it, he realizes that, oh shit.
Oh,
and
fuck.
his big thing is I'll never have a sex offender or I'll never have a snitch. And then he's got me. So now he is going around saying, oh, he lied to get on the no, don't do that. Like you don't like me, that's fine. But don't lie about what happened. So and because guys kept saying this, like you got to react. I was like, oh fine, I'll do a video. I did a video. It did great. So then I did one of Wes Watson.
Who's Wes Watson?
Wes Watson is a guy who got out of prison. He actually had done Big Herc's channel. And he's a white guy. He's like a white supremacist that's changed his ways. Now he's a motivational speaker. He's insane. If you watch these, like if you watch like the best of Wes Watson, you should do it. You should pull it up. You're gonna be like, oh my god, this guy's my worst nightmare. He's being in prison with this guy. He's the kind of guy that just watching him gives me anxiety because these guys exist.
Yeah.
So I do a video, kind of mocking him, but just mocking like how ridiculously over animated he is. He's like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
He's like, when I hit the fucking yard, I hoop that shit and I go in and I go straight to the shot collar. And I say, I'm a soldier, baby. I'm a soldier. And I fucking pull out my paperwork, hooping, stick in your ass.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he pulls he carries his passport or his paperwork with him everywhere in his ass. Like to me, I'm sorry.
You can find it on the computer, bud. You don't have to carry it.
I have an issue with this, and he talks about it like he's proud of it, like he's carrying it around in his prison purse. It's insane. And he starts talking. Look, it's crazy.
Oh, we got to get this fucker
He's
on here.
terrifying. This is my worst nightmare.
How'd you get so big on prison fucking food?
Listen.
First off, fuck the motherfucking food. I remember this food.
Oh, this is like a montage of him?
Yeah.
This is good.
You got it like full and then him in the corner?
Don't go to fucking prison then.
Look.
He's covering up his face. He's like, oh, okay, I'm good. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna uncover your face, bitch. I'm gonna move your fucking hands, bitch. And he moves his hands and I just start just digging 2 fingers in his eye like as deep as I could. Oh, motherfucker, what? No fucking legs taken.
This guy's all natural.
No, this guy's juiced the
all
fuck
jacked
up, bro. He's on salt right before every video.
What if I get claustrophobic?
Wait, you gotta turn it up.
You better drop all that shit. That shit don't exist in there. Okay, it's all good, dog. And I would fully side with you. I would side with you. I would draw you in. Oh, it's cool, dog. Like, my bad. Hey, my bad. And then I'd wait for you to get lax. And then, oh! This is why I'm so militant still. I've seen people drop shit in the comments like, Wes isn't even happy. He's not chill. He has no chill in him. Motherfucker, take your own advice, man. I'm perfectly fine. He's probably fucking sharpening his piece, how you just talked to him. He's probably in the room sharpening a piece. I just got the fuck up and said, motherfucker, you better be making a motherfucking machine gun. The cops had
It's not something. This goes for like an hour.
every time a dude locked it up at the desk.
Yeah, there's multiple parts.
Have you met this guy?
His veins.
No, I can't
Look
be in
at
the
his
room with him.
veins. His veins are like garden hoses.
And then the cops would hit him. king, flipped his cuffs, just blah, 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 just starts lighting them
He looks
up.
like the liver king.
For real.
7-inch banger hanging out his fucking ass when they strip us out. And never shit on somebody's fucking dreams. First you strip out, you show them your butthole, you show them everything. They rented a many from OC. No tats.
So you met with this guy?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just did a reaction video to this.
Oh my god.
And guys are going nuts in the comment. I have 95% negative, no, 98% negative comment. I've never had so many horrible comments about just like, and I wasn't like saying he's a piece of shit. No, I'm just saying he's insane. Like, this guy's my worst nightmare. He's crazy. Like,
people
he can't
are
really,
mad at you for talking about.
They're mad at me for even saying like I make the comment like I'm like, the guy's like a cartoon character. I mean, he can't really behave like this in real world. Like, I'm just in general. I'm not saying fuck his message. He's a. I don't say anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Guys are going nuts on me.
Really? Does he have
You're
like a
just
cult following?
Soft ass piece of shit.
Because they're guys just like him comment.
Does he have a lot of followers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's probably got like 400. I want to say he's got like maybe 400,000.
Oh fuck.
Wow.
He's.
How could
Yeah,
he
he's
not?
selling it.
Look at him.
Huh?
He's selling it.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure he's making bank. He's been on YouTube since 2000. I want to say 12. And see, he got out, and Big Herc interviewed him, and then it was such a good interview that Watson goes and starts his own channel. When I was with Big Herc being interviewed, I said, "Yeah, you interviewed Wes Watson." I said, "Brad, that dude's my worst nightmare." He says to me, Big Herc goes, "Yeah, well, don't believe everything that all that hype that he talks about, because it ain't all that." I mean, you know what I'm saying?
This is him. 39.
So,
390,000 subscribers.
Right. So he gets, you can tell there's a beef there. And he says, and then Big Herc at one point tells me, yeah, a lot of these guys, you know, like you give them a shot, you put them on the board, and then they take off, and then like they won't even return your phone calls.
So he's just mad.
And I was sitting there like,
he's petty.
Like, calm down, bro. Like,
he's mad he blew up bigger than him from this interview.
Right. And he was, yeah, all, you know, upset about it. So, but yeah, he's, you know, listen, if you read those comments,
really,
it's bad.
How's Big Herc doing?
Big Herc's video? What, you know, I don't.
Can we see Big? Can you pull up the Big Herc Matt Cox? I want to see. I'm trying to picture what this guy looks like. I'm picturing him like the guy from the Green Mile,
like a big white fat white guy.
Yes.
No, black guy.
Oh, he's black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was white. Oh yeah. Is that it, Matt?
Yes.
Doing whatever it takes to get time off my sentence. Oh God, pull the comments up on that
bro,
one.
they're hilarious.
A life plagued with
Lol, Herc better calm down before Matt remortgages his house 5 times.
Oh, listen, on his guys they're hilarious.
God. Don't get heated when someone exposes
Matt, they don't like you. This guy
They
says
do like me. That's
Cox kept it real. It is what it is.
Yeah. 54 his 54,000 on my channel. That Herc reaction has 54,000 in 2 months.
Wow. Wow.
Keep scrolling down. I want to
Yeah,
read
bro,
some more
they're
comments,
hilarious.
bro.
There's some I mean, most of them, I'm sure, basically I'm just a piece of garbage, but
Matt never hid his true nature.
Yeah. What is that? Something Matt for staying cool, calm, and
I
collected.
commend Matt for staying cool, calm, and collective during the entire interview.
Yeah, bro, look, he's losing. Like, he gets really upset.
Keep going,
and I'm
keep going.
At one point, I even turned to the camera and I go, "This is not a good interview for me." I go, "This is a bad interview."
You said that on the video, on the interview?
This isn't going to be good for me. He starts talking about Ted. There's
no honor amongst thieves. Let's not pretend like there is. I respect this dude for keeping it real.
Comments like you, bro.
They do.
Yeah.
Listen, he didn't expect that.
No, he expected the opposite of that.
Right. He's definitely upset about that.
And these are
his
weird how
people.
people get upset about just like conflicting ideas. Like they get so upset.
Yeah, they really. Almost all these comments are sticking up for you. I haven't seen one bad one.
I mean, every once in a while, there's this guy that fuck Cox. He's a piece of shit.
Like, could you imagine just like an idea rattling you that much?
Look at this one. Herc would have never gotten aggressive if he'd known Matt Cox had a fine arts degree.
Yes,
they're fucking sticking
bro,
up.
I
for you,
love
bro.
it.
Oh, that's amazing.
I love it.
He literally asked him, "Can I trust you?" He literally said no.
I said
and
no.
then told him anyway.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That's Ron Wilson. When Ron Wilson says to me, he's like, he looked at me and he goes, "This is what I was walking around the guy that I fucking snitched on."
Yeah.
Yeah, the old guy,
the
right?
Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah. He literally looked at me and he goes, "Can I trust you?" And I go, "Probably not." And he goes,
Good answer.
"Well, here's what happened." And she starts telling me, I'm like, "I just told you no."
Did you get time off for that guy?
6 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. 5 years.
And that guy died in prison,
seven.
right?
No. What? No, I didn't kill. The guy got, he already had 19 and a half years.
And he got
6 more months.
That's it. Yeah.
And I got
6 years off.
No, 5 years. Sorry, I said 6.
That's
because I got
fucking
7
incredible.
and 5.
Okay,
5
so
years off.
for people that haven't heard that, tell that part. Just tell that little story real quick.
I mean, that little story is
You
that
met him in prison?
I met this guy in prison. I'm like, I just gotten my sentence reduced for doing an ethics and fraud course, right? Like I got 7 years off. Like just, it was a miracle I got there. That was only because of Amadeo, the guy the lawyer.
Yeah.
So I had just gotten 7 years off. I got back, and Ron Wilson is a guy who stole $57 million he ran a $57 million Ponzi scheme. Like he stole $57 million from pension funds, churches. I mean, this guy was vicious. Vicious. And it's funny about him too, because one minute he would be in tears about what he'd done, and other times he'd brag about it. Like it was weird. But I liked him. He was a decent, I mean, he was not a decent guy, but in prison he was a funny guy. He was a cool guy to hang out with, a very smart guy. We used to walk around, and he's an old con man. I'm a con man, and we're all walking around. Now I'm an old con man, but we're walking around, and he kept saying he was cooperating against other people that had helped him run the Ponzi scheme. So he's cooperating against them, and he's saying to me, telling me little bits and pieces about how he's cooperating. He's like, "Yeah, but they're not going to cut my sentence for my cooperation. I know they won't. They're going to fuck me." And I was like, "Why do you keep saying that?" And he's like, "Well, because they think I've hidden Ponzi scheme money." Because he actually literally dug up like $6 or $7 million and gave it to him. I go, "Well, you gave him all the Ponzi." And he told me that. I said, "You gave him all the money, so don't worry about it. They'd have to not give you something, they would have to prove that you've hidden something. They're not going to be able to do that." So, and this went on for like months. He's always bitching about it. And so one day I said, "Man, why?"
He wanted to tell you. Yeah.
And I genuinely thought he did give them all the money. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
working. I'm just like, one day I go, "Bro, you keep mentioning that." And I said, "I'm telling you, if they don't give you something, we'll have Frank Amadeo file a 2255, and we'll get you the time off. He can do that. He just did it for me."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Can I trust you?" I remember we were walking around the guy, and I stopped and I go, "Probably not." And he goes, "All right." He said, "Well, I actually did hide some money." He said, I gave like, I don't know, he said 150 and some gold and some stuff and some other stuff to my wife to hold. My fear is that now that she knows that I had a mistress and we're getting divorced, just out of spite, she's going to tell the FBI or the Secret Service, because that was Secret Service, was in his case, over his case. She's going to tell him. And I went, "Well, she's already told them she doesn't have any money, right?" And he goes, "Right." I said, "Right. So if she does that, she opens herself up to a charge.
Yeah.
She didn't have any charge right now, And he goes, "Nah, she's pretty spiteful. She may do it." I said, "Well, she hadn't done it yet. You've been locked up over a year."
I'll be right back. You sprint.
Yeah. I got to go to the bathroom.
Now, this is what bothers me, and this is what's so. You know what bothers me? So he then, look, as we're walking, he then tells me he also gave his brother some money. Not much, like 30 or 40,000, like just, not say I gave him some money to hold too. I was like, "Oh," and I sat there and we're talking, and I'm thinking to myself, is that enough? Like, did he just tell me enough to get my sentence reduced? And I thought, yeah, no, bro, I still had like 7-8 years. I still had 9 years to
Matt's
go.
cooking in his head. He's listening to the story. He's going, "Okay, yeah. That's interesting."
Yeah.
He's got the math equation.
Yeah, in his head. He's
Yeah.
like, "This is."
But you know what?
Keep going.
It just
One more
wasn't
year. Keep going.
No, to me, it just wasn't enough. Like, it's not even worth making a call.
Yeah.
And that's this is what bothers me. It actually bothered me because I'm like, you consider yourself a pretty treacherous guy, and you didn't react fast at all. I actually laid in bed for like a month and didn't do anything. And I would lay there and go, is that even worth calling? Like, I mean, what is it? It's like a couple 100,000. Like, they're not going to reduce your sentence for a couple 100,000. They didn't want to reduce your sentence when you had cooperated fully. They're definitely not going to do it for this. They're already mad about the other thing. They're not. That's just only a couple 100,000. Forget it. Plus, it's your word telling them. Once these people deny it, come on, it's not going to happen. Forget it.
Yeah.
So a month went by, and I was on the phone ordering my transcripts because remember I just got my sentence reduced. So I wanted to get my transcripts to add my transcripts to my memoir that I'd written. I wanted to add that little piece.
Shark in the Housing Pool, available on Amazon.
Yep, thank you. Nice. So I thought, okay, cool. So I called my lawyer. And I said, hey, you said you were going to send me the transcripts. I've never got them. And she's like, oh, my gosh, I will. I'll get them. I'll get them. And then she was like, okay, I definitely going to order them. I said, okay, cool. And she went, so what's going on? I went, like lawyers don't want to chit-chat on a prison. We're on a prison. And I went, I mean, what do you mean? She goes, anything else going on in there you want to tell me about? Like this woman, when she was actively working my case, she didn't ever want to have a conversation. So now you're asking me what's going on? And the way she said it, I was like it was weird. She didn't know it. I don't know what she knew.
It.
I just went, and I swear to God, had she not said that, I'd still be in prison right now.
Really?
Yes, because I literally, think about it, it's been a month. I'd never called. I didn't do anything. So I went, I mentioned, I said, there is something. I said, so listen, there's a guy named Ron Wilson. She goes, what's his name? I go, Ron Wilson.
Grabbed a pen.
Yeah. And I said, he's a Ponzi scheme guy. She was out of where? I go, South Carolina. And it was weird how she's on the spot. And I went, and he told me about hidden Ponzi scheme funds that the Secret Service thinks he hid. I go, but it's not a lot of money. She goes, okay, well, let me look into it. She goes, do you know the name of his agent? I go, actually, I do, because he said his name all the time.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, his name is Griffin. He's like Tom Griffin. I think it was Tom. I go, Tom Griffin. and he's South Carolina Secret Service. And she goes, okay, well, that can't be very many of those.
Yeah.
She said, let me look into it. I'll get back with you. I said, okay. Keep in mind, she had not really worked hard on my case. I don't want to say anything too bad about her because I did get but hung up, didn't think anything else about it. About a week later, a correctional officer comes up to me and says, Cox, come here. And I go, yo, what's up? And he goes, during the move's when they open the doors so you can go from building to building. He goes, during the move, I need you to go to SIS. And I went, okay. And he just kind of it was on the down low, because if you go to SIS, you're probably cooperating with somebody. I used to have to go there because they would hold my mail, because I was working on so many different people's stories. They would catch stuff coming in and go, why did you just order this guy's arrest report? Like, you shouldn't have Danny's arrest report. I'm like, yeah, I'm working on a story, and they'd always give it to me. But they said for me to go there. I was like, okay, no big deal. So I go there. I walk in. As soon as I walk in, there was this one lieutenant who ran the place. He was a fucking asshole. He goes, Cox, come here. Yeah, you sit down. And that's how they talk to you, like you're a dog. Sit down. I'm like, all right. And he goes, hold on. Dials the phone. He goes, yeah. Hey, yeah, it says there. I got him. Hold on. Talk to him. I'm like, oh. Like, now I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, this isn't about the mail. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And the guy goes, hey, this is Special Agent, Griffin with the Secret Service in South Carolina. I understand you know where Ron Wilson hid Ponzi scheme money. And I went, nah, wait a minute, bro. I said, I need something in writing, because this is how last time. Yeah. And he goes, well, wait a minute now. Let's talk about this. I said, no. I'm not getting screwed again. I give you this. I want something in writing. You go to the U.S. attorney. You get me a letter in writing, and I'll tell you who has the money. And I said, the person that has the money. And he goes, okay, so it's a woman. And I went, what? He goes, it's a woman. You keep saying person. You're trying to make sure that it's not male or female.
Which means
so
it
must be female. And I go, hey, bro, don't ask me no more questions.
Yeah.
He goes, so who has it? I go, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I need a letter. And he goes, take down my email address, put me on your core links, which is the way we communicate.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
So I put down, write it down. I go put him on there. We start corresponding, and he gets me the letter. He actually sends me a copy of the letter from the U.S. attorney saying, if Mr. Cox gives us information that recovers any money, if it's the word they use, it's not significant. Anyway, it's it's like, let's say, significant amount of money, or
but then what do they consider significant, though? That's the problem.
Right, exactly. But that was the best I was going to. If it's that, or any of his information leads to the recovery of money, or basically an indictment, then then we'll consider it substantial assistance, which means substantial assistance is what they give you a reduction for. So we'll consider it substantial assistance and reduce the sentence. But that's a
Did
lot
they say
of
by how much they reduce it? Or
no, but keep in mind they said we'll consider it. That's how they fuck you.
They always do.
Right. So it's like they're like, well, we did consider it, and it's not enough.
Still a fucking Hail Mary.
Right. So I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? I might as well do, whatever. So I cooperate. I answer the questions that they're asking me, and then they come to me and say, can you go back and ask him this? I'm like, I mean, I can try. I mean, that's a little weird. I can't just walk into the room and say, hey, Ron, did so-and-so know this? I'm like, I got to fucking bring it up. It's going to take a while. I got to subtly. They're like, well, take your time. So this goes on.
You've got 9 years, don't worry.
Yeah. This goes on for months. Ask him this. And sometimes they'd ask him questions, and I go, bro, what are you trying to do? How the fuck am I going to work that into a conversation? Like there was like questions as like, how do I work that? How do I ask him that?
Yeah.
Like, what are you fucking people idiots? It's like, what are you doing? And I would call them sometimes, and because it takes so long back and forth. Anyway, the point is, I would ask about this. I'd come back and say, no, this person he said that person had nothing to do with anything. That you guys are always asking about that, and nothing. But it'd take me 3 days to work it into a conversation. So. Point is, I answered a bunch of questions, and then at some point, he was on the pack out, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm going back to, they're moving me." I'm like, "Where are they moving you?" He's like, "I have no idea." And then I go back and I'm like, "Hey, man, Wilson's on the pack out, bro. Like he's leaving tomorrow." And they're like, "I know. We just indicted him. We indicted him. We indicted his wife. We indicted his brother." Oh. Yeah. I'm like, what the? Because what they did was after I answered enough questions, they actually had enough to go to this wife and say, "We need you to come in and be interviewed." She came in, and they said, "Do you have any money?" And she said, "Absolutely not. I have nothing. He never gave me nothing. I don't have anything." Okay. She leaves, comes back the next day, and walks in with like $350,000 in cash and gold. Boom, boom, and gives them all this money. He told me only $150,000.
Ooh.
And some gold.
That's a significant amount.
That's a huge difference, right? So because remember, I was thinking even the combination wasn't $200,000. The $30,000 or 30 or 40 his brother had plus the $150. That's not even $200,000.
Right.
She comes in alone with like $350. Then the brother the next day is supposed to show up. He walks in and says, "Before I say anything, I want to turn this over." Boom, $150,000 in cash. No. Not 30 or 40, $150.
You're at $500,000.
Right. So when Wilson's leaving, he had gotten a phone call from his lawyer. And he goes, "Hey, I need to talk to you." I said, "Yeah, what's up?" I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" And I'm still like, my heart's kind of like,
oh shit, because they told you why he was on. They already told you.
Right, he knows.
Right, and I don't know that he doesn't know that I was involved.
Yeah,
and they're saying he doesn't. There's no way he could know, but who knows? And he's like, "Can I talk to you?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" He goes, "Talk to my lawyer." And I'm like, "Okay." He said, and then he told me my wife went in and turned in this much money, and my brother turned in this much. I go, "Are you serious?" I said, "I didn't think they'd had nearly that much." And I said, "You told me like your brother had like 20 grand?" He said, or 30, or like I like lowballed it. Like I thought, and he goes, "Well," he said, I didn't really trust you, so I didn't want to tell you the right amount." And I'm thinking, if you didn't trust me, you should have told me nothing. Like you what you said sparked the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you should have just said nothing. Like anything is something to the FBI. They don't care if they get $5.
Right.
So the point is, and he's like, "Well, apparently I've been re-indicted." I'm like,
the Home Alone face.
Do that. Look at the camera.
I'm like, no,
It
really?
can't
I need a thumbnail.
That's crazy.
Oh, fuck.
And he's just so he gets on the bus and he leaves. And you know what's funny about that?
Did they indict the wife and brother? Or no?
Yeah, but you know what they got? One got 6 months probation.
Yeah.
Not even a felony.
Yep.
The other one got 100 community service hours.
Wow.
Nothing.
So he got indicted. Then what happened to him?
He went back.
6?
He got 6 more months. But when he got his discovery,
your name's all over it.
Not just that, he sees all the emails.
Oh, fuck.
He
realized you've been working
they didn't
on
put
it the
him
whole
back
time.
in the same prison.
No. You know what he did? He wrote a letter to his old roommate. So his old roommate got it, and it's a fucking letter that says, "Cox this." And then he even said this. He said, "Cox, or I never really told him anything, but somehow or another he put it all together." Like it's like, you did told me everything.
Yeah, you told me, bro.
So when I got that, it was funny because when I get it, So what happens is I'm walking around. I don't know this letter's going around.
Yeah.
And I have a buddy come up to me one time and say, "Hey, bro, man, what happened with Wilson?" I said, "I don't know, man. They shipped him." "No, Cox, I heard something else." I'm like, "What'd you hear?" And he's like, I heard. I'm sitting there like I'm just waiting for my reduction. Like I don't even need to. There's no reason to even be friends with, talk to you guys anymore. I'm leaving here any day now.
Yeah.
So of course I didn't know they were gonna. Once again, they tried to fuck me over. So
wait. So before all this happened, did you already get your reduction?
No.
Okay.
He has to be sentenced. Then they have to request it. And remember, they don't request it. After he gets sentenced, the U.S. attorney doesn't try and give me anything. They say, "We don't know what Cox is talking about." I had to literally file another 2255, and then they lied to the judge. They told the judge, "Your Honor, we don't know what Mr. Cox is talking about. We have no agreement with Mr. Cox." I had to mail the letter to the judge.
Wow.
The judge gets the letter, and he's like, "We're going to have an evidentiary hearing." And they're like, "Wait, Your Honor."
They gave him the same face.
That's right. Your Honor.
Where'd you get
I
that
remember.
letter?
That was under. I'm sorry. That was under. It was under my paperweight. I forgot about that. Anyway, the point is that so I hadn't gotten a reduction. I just know he's gone. So months go by. He finds out about that I had cooperated against him. He mails the letter back. Now the letter's going around. I have guys coming up. The guy says, "Yeah, I heard something else." I said, "What'd you hear?" He said, "I heard you're the reason he got indicted." And I went, "What? What? How'd you hear that?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to say." And I'm like, "What do you mean you want to say? You come up to me and say that? You don't want to say?"
Yeah.
And I went, Pfft. I walk off. Another guy 2 days later comes up and says something. Another guy comes up to me later and says, at commissary says, "Hey, Matt, what's up?" And I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And he goes, "I don't want to say anything, bro. Like I like you. And I don't care what you did." He's like I'd do anything to get out of here. I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Me too." Yeah. And he's like, "Yeah, no, I know." He said, "You know Wilson?" And I went, "Ah, fuck." And he looked at me and I said, "Well, what is it?" And he goes, like,
"Bro, the way you reenact this is so good. So fucking
keep going.
It's true though. And I went, and he goes, "Nobody's told me what's really happening.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what's happening."
You
I just
haven't
know people
seen the letter?
Oh, people are looking at me. People are walking by and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" They're like, I'm like,
dead man walking.
"That's weird." And especially since I've already come back from getting a reduction, like I'm not hiding it, but they're like, "This dude's a gunslinger."
Yeah.
Like, don't even fucking look at Cox's direction. He'll get you indicted.
Yeah.
So the guy looks at me and he goes, the guy's name was Bradley, Martin Bradley. Bradley looks at me and he goes, "So, I read this letter." And I went, "Letter? What letter?" I mean, I'm doing everything to say, "Letter? What letter? What letter? What are you talking about?" Yeah. And I go, "Letter? What letter?" And he goes, "So, Wilson mailed a letter back to somebody." Now, Wilson had no friends. So I thought the only person he would have written would be his old roommate. And I went, right. I said, and they called him something. They called him like Steve Austin, I think they called him. Because he looked like Steve Austin.
Did he really?
No, he was shorter, though.
How old was he?
He was old. He was like fucking 7. It's like, no, he's like 60, 65 years old. Oh, okay. But he had like the white hair. So I is that what Steve Austin
Steve
had?
Austin was bald.
No, that's Ric Flair.
No. Ric Flair. That must be it. Ric Flair. That's who they called. They called him Flair. All right, Ric Flair. So I was like, "Ric Flair?" And he looked at me and went, he just kind of looked at me. I went, "Okay, anyway." And he goes, "Yeah, so the letter's gone around. Like a few people have read it." He goes, "And I read it, and it's pretty bad. It says that you cooperated against him, and you were emailing the Secret Service, and you've been working with the Secret Service for almost a year now to get him re-indicted." And I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "Is that true?" And I go, "Does it matter?" And he goes, "I mean, it doesn't matter to me." I said, "Well, then what are we talking about?" And he goes, "Okay." Like I was like, I think, he's like, "Okay,
all right."
It's like I'm not gonna brag.
Yeah,
like I joke around a lot, but at this point, here's my problem. It's not that I'm concerned about getting hurt. Well, my problem is the lieutenants find out about it, and I get shipped. Because they're like, he's in danger, and they ship me.
Yeah.
So I can't get shipped. Yeah. Like my mom comes to see me every 2 weeks. I'm not getting shipped. I'm also working on a bunch of stories. Like I have a life here. Not a great life. Yeah. But at the time,
I got something going.
But at the time, your expectations get lowered.
Yeah.
I'm in a routine.
Right.
So I go to I go to Ric Flair. So I walk right up to
Ric Flair's the roommate. Okay.
the roommate. I walk right up to him, and I said, "Hey, bro, what's up?" And he goes, "Hey, man, how's it going?" And I went, "Pretty good, pretty good. It's going all right." And he goes, "All right." You could tell he's nervous. And I said, "So I wanted to mention to you that multiple people have told me that you've got this letter that you're circulating." And he goes, he's just looking at me. And I said, "So I want to be perfectly clear what the situation is. Your wife comes to see you every 2 weeks. She lives around here. You don't want to get shipped." And he looks at me, and I go, "Because," I said, we both know I'm currently working with the FBI and the Secret Service. I can't be shipped from this location, but you can." And I said, "One more fucking person comes up to me and talks to me about this letter, and I shit you not, you will be transferred to FCC Baghdad. Do you understand me?" I said, "I'll walk right into the lieutenant's office. I'll explain the situation. They will come and raid your fucking shit, find that letter, and ship you. And even if they don't, they'll ship you." I said, "Because I can't be moved." And he went, I said, "We understand each other, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, yeah." I said, "Nobody sees the letter again, do they?" No, they don't. I said, "Okay." And I walked away. I have no control. There's no lock on me.
Yeah.
There's no FBI.
But you sold it.
I sold it.
Yeah.
So nobody ever mentioned. So here's the thing. So you have to think, for him to mail that letter back, he was pretty pissed, right?
Yeah.
Wilson? Now, here's the thing. About 6 months later, maybe a year later, about a year, let's say 6 months to a year later, by this point, I got my 5 years off. I just gotten my 5 years off, I think. I want to say either before or near, around that area, around that time period. One day I'm sitting there. We have to stand up for count, right? So I'm standing, waiting for the guards to come count us, and we're standing at the top of our cells, and we're standing there. And this, they bring new people in all the time. Well, this black guy had been placed right in front of my cell, like he's in the cell right across the hallway from me. Not a ton of white guys in prison in general, but there's still a lot in the low, right? More so, like maybe 20, maybe 40 or 50%, which is a lot. So I'm standing there in my cell waiting for count. You're not supposed to talk or anything. And this black guy had just gotten there. He's still in his R&D clothes. Like he doesn't even have his uniform. And he's standing there and he goes, "Hey, man." And I said, "Yeah, what's up?" And he goes, "You know a guy named Matt Cox?" And I went, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, "You know him?" And I went, "Yeah." And he said, Can you point him out to me? Is he in this unit?" And I went, "Nah, bro." I said, I pull out my ID. I go, "I'm Matt Cox." And he goes, "Oh, shit." And I went, "Why? What's up?" And he goes, "You know Ron Wilson?" And I immediately, and he said that, he goes, No, it's not like that, bro." He said, nobody can really hear us. We're pretty close, but and his celly's 8 feet back. And he goes, No. He said, "You know Ron Wilson?" I said, "Yeah. Why?" He said, I was locked up with him in South Carolina, and he was being shipped, and he wanted me to give you a message." And I went, "Okay." He said he wanted me to let you know that he told me to tell you 2 things. One, he hopes you get as much time off as you can get for what happened. He goes, and he told me everything. I go, "Okay." And he goes, "The second thing is he wanted you to let you know he's at peace and he's found Jesus and he's good with it. No," and he said he had no hard feelings towards you. I said, "Okay." And he said, I said, so I said, "Am I going to have to worry about you telling people about this?" And he goes, "Nah, bro." He said, "Let me put it this way." He goes, "I ain't going to be here very long." Like that. And I went, "I understand you." He said, "I know you do."
He's doing the same thing.
Yeah, he's just waiting.
Snitching on people.
Well, he's waiting to leave. He's waiting for a reduction.
Okay.
Like, I'm here, but I'm leaving. So nobody comes in quick.
Yeah.
There's no little prison sentence in the feds.
Right.
So if you come in and you're gone 6 months, and this guy was gone like 4 or 5 months later. He's
Really?
gone. Yeah. So he did some damage. But yeah, he that was it. And that was the last I'd heard. And I'd actually thought about writing Wilson.
Yeah, you should.
I thought about
fascinating to get him.
I even thought about sending him my book, because I have a book where I talk about him.
You should.
Is he in Shark in the Housing Pool?
No, but he's in the book I wrote. It's Insanity.
Yeah.
Frank Amadeo is the one that fought those cases.
Right, that helped you get the reduction.
Right. I talk about the Wilson case. Wilson's also in one of my books called Bailout.
Yeah.
He's
Shrinker.
Yeah, he's only in a couple scenes, but he's in, he makes appearances because he was a part of my life for a period of time, and he was an interesting character. And keep in mind, too, Wilson got 6 months. First of all, you got 19 and a half years. You're dying in prison. 6 months ain't going to make a difference. No. But not that I give a fuck.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to make it seem like, so Matt thought about this. I thought they were going to give him 5 years. I don't give a shit. Yeah, I didn't care. I don't care if he got fucking 40 years. And he had 2.
Right.
Was serving 2 and got 40. I don't give a fuck. I went out of prison.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's the whole, that one little piece is he found Jesus, and I hope you get as much off as you can. That was the weirdest thing. Can you imagine?
That is weird.
There's 1,800 to 2,000 people at any given time at that. The guy literally is right across from me.
Were you just waiting for him to pull out a shank or something right when he said that?
I mean,
it sounds like something from a movie right before you get killed.
I have a message
from Ron.
No, because he was in R&D clothes. So I mean, he's got a t-shirt and baggy pants, and he's a soft black guy. This is not this wasn't like a thug. This is like a guy that I could probably take in a fair fight. I don't think he's gonna stab. And he was very hey, Matt Cox.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but he was very he didn't want anybody here. He wasn't trying to be yo, man, what's up with He
wasn't trying to get attention.
No. So it was the vibe was good with him. Yeah, that was it. What is that?
No. So how long after that did it take for you to get your reduction?
I want to say it was. I don't know if it was before or after that. The problem was as soon as Wilson got indicted and actually got sentenced, I had to wait. I waited 6 months before we filed the 2255 because they basically first you kind of wait 90 days because typically around 90 days they're closing the file. They're wrapping everything up. And at that point they would have filed something saying, "Hey, Your Honor, we want to go ahead and reduce Cox's sentence because he substantially helped us in this case." Well, after 90 days, it was So I wrote a letter to the U.S. attorney, didn't hear anything. Then we waited. So now it's 6 months after Wilson's sentencing. And then it was okay, so let's go ahead and file a 2255 because I already know they're going to fuck me. So we filed a 2255 saying, look, I want to rescind my plea agreement because you promised to reduce my sentence if I cooperated in my plea agreement. And you're not doing that. And they really don't even promise. We always say, you promised. They're yeah, but if you read the language, it specifically says this is not a promise. So, but you just say that anyway. So, I sent it to, I sent it in and then they come back and the first thing the government says is, Your Honor, we don't know anything about Mr. Cox cooperating in the Wilson case. We haven't heard anything about this. So, of course, Amadeo then comes back and files another motion with the letter, which goes to the judge, saying, hey, what do you mean you don't know anything? What about this letter? What about all of these emails between Cox and the Secret Service? And they're talking about the U.S. attorney and their agreement with the U.S. attorney. Bah, 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 Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2, Exhibit 3, and they're we're taking excerpts. So the judge saw that, and the judge went, I'm gonna order an evidentiary hearing. And then immediately they came back and they said, Your Honor, we'd like to reduce Mr. Cox's sentence by 1 level, which was 14 or 15 months or something. I don't know. It was low. It was very low. Maybe it was 22. I think it was 20 months. So we want to do it by 20 months or 18 months, a year, 18 months or something. And it was and so it was lucky because when that came in, I got it and we had just enough time. So the judge got something saying 18 months off. I don't know the exact number. The judge typically could have just gone and said, yeah, okay, 18 months. Cox is bitching and moaning. They agreed to give him something. Here, yeah, okay, cool. Done, that's done. And then it's over. I'm done. So immediately, as soon as this thing came in, I get it at 5 o'clock. right after 4 o'clock count. So I get it at 5 o'clock at mail call, and I'm like, holy shit! I immediately go to Frank's, meet with Frank. Frank, this is what I got. Blah, blah, blah. And Frank goes, okay, get me so and so. You know, he starts doing orders. You know, the little general. Get me Johnson, Thomas, get a such and such, you know, form. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm running around getting stuff, and he writes up a little motion saying he wants to stop the process of the judge making a determination on whether or not to grant it or not, because I have the right to present evidence. So stop it. We want to present evidence. And so they're like, so now the judge is, because think about it, the hardest thing is this. The hardest thing is getting them to ask for a reduction. Now you opened up the door. Yeah, you opened up the door.
Right.
And so sure enough, we write it up, type it up, it's in the mail. So within, like, they, you know, they don't think you can react that quickly.
Yeah.
So within 2 days, the judge obviously got it and filed a, hey, we're suspending this, we're stopping it, and we're ordering an evidentiary hearing. No, we're stopping it. We're giving Cox a lawyer.
Yeah.
And we're going to do an evidentiary hearing. So the lawyer takes.
They gave you a lawyer.
They always give. Yeah, they gave me a lawyer the first time too. This lawyer flies in from. And this lawyer actually went to Harvard. She was a CJA. Like they appoint them.
Yeah.
So, and because like if you file a 2255, you're basically, one of the things you're saying is that your lawyer's your public defender's ineffective. Mm-hmm. So they can't now give me a lawyer from the public defender's office. I just said
give you
that
a real lawyer.
Now they hire someone, right? A real one. I got this chick from Harvard.
Wow.
She flies in. She comes in. She sits down. And she's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, this is what happened. Boom, boom, boom. And she's like, okay, well, that's one of the things where when I tell her, she's like, well, your motion, you know, I read your motion, it was well written and everything, but you don't really have much of a chance. And I was like, oh, I didn't write the motion. She's like, well, who wrote the motion? I'm like, Frank Amadeo. She's, who's Frank Amadeo? I'm like, he's a mentally incompetent inmate who does legal work, and he has delusions of he has delusions that he's going to be emperor of the world. He's straight crazy. And she's like, this is who's doing your legal work? And I went, yeah, well, it doesn't affect his legal work. I mean, yeah, he thinks God's telling him he's going to be emperor of the world, but doesn't affect his legal work. And she's like,
clearly,
you've got somebody who's mentally ill who's doing your yeah.
She likes this story.
Yeah, she's like, that's crazy. So she ends up saying, look, you ought to take. You know what she said? She goes, you ought to take the deal. I go, what deal? The 18-month deal. I said, really? Why would I do that? She's like, I might be able to get you 2 months. I'm like, huh? Frank said 4. Frank said to tell you 4.
4 more months?
Yeah, no, 4 levels. I'm sorry, 4 levels.
Oh, okay.
Which was basically 5 years off.
Yeah.
It's actually like 59 months off or something. I always say round up to 60 months, which is 5 years. So anyway, so I said, yeah, that's it. So we go back and forth. We argue for the next 4 months, 3 or 4 months, and eventually they come back and they say 3 levels off, which that's 60 months. Sorry, that's 59 months. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other one was like 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
So yeah, she and I get her to argue, and really what's happening is that she's not even writing the fucking things. Like my buddy Pete and Frank are writing the motions, and then we're giving them, and then she's getting them and rewriting them and sending them in. I mean, they're literally
they're doing all the work for her.
They're doing the work, and she's just doing. And she keeps every time I talk to her, she's like, "They offer this, you should take it." I'm like, "No, well, you're not going to get it anymore." Yeah, I know, but you keep saying that.
Yeah,
and it keeps getting more.
Right, and eventually I get 59, and she actually was like, "Okay, well, we're going to have to go ahead and do the evidentiary hearing because 59 isn't what you want. You want 4 levels." You only got 3 levels, which is 59 months. 4 levels would have been whatever, 70, 72, whatever. I was like, no, I'll take 59. She's like, well, you said you wouldn't take less than 4 levels, and this is only 3. And I said, no. I said, Frank said to tell you 4 levels. We were always okay with 3.
Yeah.
And we want you to fight for 4.
Right.
And she goes, but
3.
3's good. She goes, okay, well, do you want to be moved back? I said, why would I want to be moved back? I've won. Like at this point, going in front of the judge, I can only lose. Like get them to agree to 3 levels. We've agreed to 3 levels. Put in a motion. I don't need to go back. So sure enough, boom, it was done. It was over. I got 59. Wow. And that's about this around. I don't know if it was before or after when I actually got the thing. When the guy said to me, "Are you Matt? You know, hey, look, you know a guy named Matt Cox?" Oh.
At that point, how much time did you have left?
So at that point, I was down to probably 7 years, and I got 5 years off.
God damn!
And then as soon as that happened, so now I've got like less than 2 years, and they immediately were going to ship me. They were going to ship me to another place. But my mom, so I immediately entered the drug program so that if you enter the drug program, they lock you to the combat. They put a management variable on you, so you can't be moved. So that's why I went to the drug program, so they wouldn't ship me. You've heard this.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, it's nuts. Like, I mean, the juggling act.
So crazy.
And
You fucking played every single element of the system.
horrible.
That's
Bro,
fucking
and in the meantime, like all kinds of stuff's happening. I told you. Remember the guy jumped up and punched me in the fucking head? I don't want to. I say punch. I shouldn't say because he didn't punch me. He bitch slapped me.
Who did?
This guy jumped. One day we were watching TV.
Oh yeah.
Arguing over the TV.
He wanted to watch Stone Cold's Ranch.
No.
Broken Skull Ranch.
No. This was just a crack. He had a sex offender charge. Like he was actually there for like oxys, and he was a big biker guy, but he had a sex offender charge in his past. And I used to fuck with him all the time. I don't know why. He beat my ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? I told you guys. I think I told you this before. Like when I entered prison, I kind of realized like you can do one of two things. You can just shut your fucking mouth for the next 20-something years, and just take and just say nothing. And be miserable, or you can run your mouth and expect that you're going to get the shit kicked out of you every once in a while. And I thought,
That'd be more fun.
yeah, I'm just not going to be okay not saying anything. Some of these guys, you got to say something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sitting there in the like, you know, sex offenders can't go, like they can't live certain places. You know that they can't live around a school or around whatever.
Yeah, we've talked about multiple business ideas.
Yeah. So the guy, this guy, his name was Billy. Billy, like Billy would say, we'd be in the TV room, people would say stupid shit. Like or somebody would say, "Hey, I just got my halfway house." By the way, sex offenders in Florida can't get a halfway house. So some guy would come in and sit down and go, "Hey, I just got my halfway house, man. I'm getting 8 months halfway house. I'm fucking leaving next month." And it was like, "Oh, cool, bro, cool." And then Billy would like everybody knows you have a sex offender charge in your past. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Don't bring attention to. Instead, he would say, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take halfway house. And everybody's like, "What?
Full of shit.
Yeah, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna go all the way to the door. Yeah, I'm not sure where I don't even know where I'm gonna go when I get out." And I would go, and I remember one time I said, "Well, I know where you're not gonna go." And he was, "Where?" I go, "Anywhere near a school, a daycare, or a park." He, "Fuck you, Cox." So I was always saying shit to him.
Oh my god, that's great, man.
One day we're watching TV, right? In the morning, he sits behind me. We're watching TV, we're sitting there, and this chick comes on. She's like running down the beach, right? Like Baywatch or something. And he goes, "You wouldn't know what to do with that, would you, Cox?" And I went, "Psh, got a better chance of hitting that than you do." And he goes, "Huh." He said, "I want to fuck something. I'd knock your ass out and fuck you." And I said, "Shit." I said, "I'm a little bit young for you." I said, "Plus I have my high school diploma." Jumps up and goes, bam, just smashed me right in the fucking knocked me out of my fucking chair. Like, I thought someone had walked in. You know, you walk around with your chair, and when you walk to the door, I thought somebody had dropped their chair on me. And that's like, I didn't expect it. So I jump, I'm like, "What the fuck, you piece of shit?" Like, we start screaming at each other, and then he storms off. And I turn to one of the guys, I sit down, and one of the guys in there looks at me and he goes, "Cox, you okay?" And I went, "Yeah, I'm good." And he goes, like, that's how quickly it goes back to normal, by the way.
Yeah.
That quick, not walking around, not pouting, not fucking moving to another state, none of that shit. It's just like, "Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm good." Yeah.
I like that subliminal shot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you just deal with it, you move on. We're all buddies, we're good. So I'm watching TV, I'm good. And he goes, "No, bro, you're not good." "What do you mean?" He goes, "You need to go in the mirror. Go look in the fucking in the bathroom." I went, "Fuck." Like, I walk in the bathroom, fucking half my eye is bloodshot red, just completely.
Really?
Blew the capillary out. Like, I had no idea. I was like, holy shit. Like, how am I going to
Explain
It was
this.
just before Mother's Day, and my mom was coming to see me, like that Monday, and I was thinking, fuck, like, how am I going to not? Like, if the guards see this, I'm going to the shoe.
Yeah.
They're going to know there's a fight. And so I made it. This is how many snitches are in that fucking place. Can you believe someone would snitch on you in there? They had like 5 or 6 cop-outs. There was only 4 guys in the room. It was like me, Billy, and like 2 other guys. And there were like 5 or 6 cop-outs to fucking to SIS saying, hey, there was Cox and Billy were in a fight. And so at the end, after 4 o'clock count, they called both of us into the office. So we both go in the office, and I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? Like, I'm trying to look sideways. Like, no. All right, Cox, what happened? We understand there was a fight, and I go, no. Don't say fight. It was an assault. I was assaulted. Fight makes it seem like I fought back. I was assaulted. I said, this is an assault. And Billy's right there. Billy's like, motherfucker. And I'm like, what? Like, if you think you just hit me in the fucking head. You think I'm what? I'm going to not say something?
Right.
Nah, anybody needs to go to the shoe. It's this motherfucker. But we both went to the shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ended up having to go to the pin. Billy went to the medium shoe. I went to the pin shoe for some reason. Let me tell you something. It's not good.
Wow.
Like I listened the whole way there. As I'm coming into the place, they dress you out and everything. I'm telling like every guard along the way, I'm like, hey, you can't put me in with one of these other guys. They're like, no, Cox, don't worry. You're going to be fine. We got your own cell. We got you some books.
Wow, they took care of you at least.
Oh, yeah. Like the guys, like the guards in the pen are super nice.
Right.
Like as you go down,
because they're dealing with fucking the worst of the worst,
right? They could get stabbed.
Yeah.
Like at the camp, they can or the load, they can treat you like garbage.
Right.
You're not going to do anything.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're like, Cox, I got your books. If you need any more books, don't hit the button. Just knock. Wait, we'll come. Don't. Here's your cleaning supplies. Don't drink this. I'm like. It was like Ajax, a
suicide
thing full of Ajax, and I looked at him. I go, "Is that a problem?" He goes, "Yeah, it's an issue. I go, "Yeah, I'm not drinking that." He said, "Good move." I mean, like the cop was totally cool.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I was there like a day, and they let me out.
Wow, man, that's fucking wild.
A day or 2 days. Listen, there were guys there, whole faces, eyes tattooed, like walking around, like. I mean, like. Walking and like this is how their rec time is handcuffed behind their back, shackled, their legs shackled, and a chain between the two, walking around
like Wes Watson.
Yeah, worse. Like just like guys like that, completely tattooed. And I mean these are guys like you could see the inside the shoe rec yard. You could see it when you go through intake. And I'm looking at these guys. That's when I'm like, you can't put me in with one of these guys. You cannot put me in with that. Like, no, just calm down. Cox, and they almost laugh. Like they're like,
relax, Cox.
We would never. You can't survive with one. Like,
right.
We might as well just take you out back and execute you.
Right.
Be faster.
Oh my God.
Terrifying. But yeah, so that was it.
Oh,
and then you're out.
Wow, man,
that's fucking.
The way that you rehearse or recount those stories, and the way that you recount it, and like how animated you are, is so fucking hilarious, man.
You should get Wes Watson on the channel.
Oh yeah, we should try.
You
to
should
get
have
him.
Only if you come on. With him.
I would, but I need to have a bouncer. Like we have to have somebody. Wes, look, because
I don't know a guy bigger than that guy.
Yeah, we'll bring Big Mike.
Oh yeah, we could bring Big Mike. We could bring Big Mike.
Actually, the thing is like I've seen Wes Watson. I've seen.
We'll have Big Mike pat him down before he comes in. Make sure he's not.
It's like an act. That was the big thing that bothers a lot of people. I say it's an act. He can't act like this in normal. Like Wes Watson cannot behave like this in normal life. Right. Nobody would be around him. He's
probably like the most like calm, reasonable person in real life. He's like probably
but I know
super sweet guy.
I had a guy contact me in the comment section who said he works out at the same gym, like it's in like LA or somewhere like in California. He works out at the same gym. Watson has like a group of people that he trains. And he said, he yells at them all the time.
Yeah, he probably
calls them
loves it.
names, calls them everything. He's like a guy will show up like 5 minutes late. And he'll go. He said he'll belittle him in front of everybody, and I'm thinking, really, like, it's got to be an act. Like you can't behave this way in society. But maybe one guy is telling me it's got. You're right. It's got to be an act. Some guys are saying, yeah, it's Matt. Come on, man. He's playing a character. Other guys are, and then the other guy with the thing, like, but maybe he's playing the character
but
for
he can
them.
do it in that role,
right?
Right.
Yeah,
maybe in
a place where he could play that.
Yes. So I can't imagine. But I mean, he's
Yeah, he's I mean, that definitely could be his real life. Just judging by how fucking juiced up he is.
And he's violent. I mean, and he didn't do Fed time. He did state. I mean, California state time.
Oh my God, that's the worst of the worst.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
That's why he looks like he does.
Yeah. Oh, you know what would be good? What about Big Herc?
Oh yeah,
Big Herc. Yeah,
I'd love to.
Oh yeah,
I want to get that football
and
player.
ask him questions about you, and then bring Matt in halfway through. Hey, do you remember this guy? Bubba, yeah.
Just like an episode of Jerry Springer.
Bro, you have is that guy Ron Wilson still alive?
Yeah, he's in prison.
You have to fucking reach out.
Yeah,
to him.
you definitely have to reach out to him.
I
Write
should.
him.
You
Just
have
write
to.
him.
Just write him a letter.
Write him a letter
and
tonight.
get a letter from him, and see what he says.
You know what he
You
looks
should
like?
write him a letter and
You
thank
should.
him.
You should show a picture of him.
Can you
Can
Google
you
him?
pick him up?
Oh, he's all over it.
Oh,
they
is he
have
really?
videos of him. They
yeah,
he was on
huge
American
Ponzi
Greed.
screen.
Was he
The
really?
Ponzi.
Yes.
He did 50-some million, right?
57.
Well, how do you spell his
million.
name?
Ron Wilson.
Ron.
Ron-
and
Ron
it is.
Wilson.
It's Ronnie.
I think with
Wilson.
an R. What do you mean? How do you
Ron
spell
Wilson.
Fucking Ron Wilson.
I honestly forgot the name.
No, I was talking about Danny.
Anyways, what's up with Amadeo? Have you talked to him at all?
You know he got arrested.
He got arrested again. You said that last time you were here.
Yeah, he's in jail.
Fuck, what did he go to jail for?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Oh,
I'm thinking
man.
CIA hold. At this
Really?
point, no. I'm saying at this point, nobody can find out. Nobody can figure out why he's locked up. He's
And
had
that's usually public record when somebody gets locked up, right?
right. They have so long to either charge you or even if it was just a violation. Like because at first I was told it was a violation, but in a violation they have so many days to say it's a violation. Yeah.
Wow.
That's him, right? Like that's after. This is him after he got picked up and left Coleman.
From you.
So yeah, from me. This is after.
Can you play the video?
Yeah. This is
Does he ever talk about you?
no.
That fucking Matt Cox.
Could you imagine if he started with that? That mother. He told me I couldn't trust him.
Oh.
I asked him, "Can I trust you?" He said no.
Now to a story you'll see only on WYFF News 4. He stole $57 million from 798 victims in a Ponzi scheme.
Now for the first
But
time
do the
ever,
widescreen.
Ron Wilson is speaking out from jail tonight. The new details from our exclusive jailhouse interview.
Here now is WYFF News 4's Mandy Gaither.
I mean, who's going to write me? I don't
Matt
even
Cox
know
will.
family members that like me anymore.
From the Spartanburg County Jail, Ron Wilson told us it all started with a lie, and he got good at telling them. When Gina Eason, the vice president of his company Atlantic Bullion and Coin, started asking questions, wanting to see the silver victims thought they had bought, Wilson had the right answers.
You don't trust me? I said, well, what is it? You don't trust me? Here you are, vice president of the company. You don't trust me? Oh, no, I trust you. You know, and all that stuff. And I said, well, come on, what is it? And she said, well, I'm just trying to get more information to be more effective with the clients. I said, when you get to those questions, bring me in. And, because I used to tell her.
Look at him.
A client she brought in one day, she said,
Look how much he enjoys
she
it.
said, I want to know, how do I know the silver's there? I said, you don't. And he sat there and he says, what? I said, you don't know. It's not in your name. It's in ours. That's how I can trade it. I said, if you're uncomfortable, get out. We'll sell it out. Nobody did. It was part of the arrogance. It was part of the stupidity.
Right before his arrest, Wilson says he believes Eisen figured it out, but says he orchestrated the entire Ponzi scheme on his own.
Wow.
Not wanting to take a chance or trust anyone but himself.
Man, you got to write this guy.
I'm not mad at the Secret Service. I'm not mad
Look.
at the receiver. I'm not mad at anyone. I mean, I'm mad at myself. I did this. I put myself in here. Nobody put me in here. I did this. And it's a horrible way to end up your life.
Wilson says it was sheer greed that led him to steal. He says his business was legitimate until 2001. He noticed over that time that very few people ever took any money out of their accounts.
I started issuing statements that had nothing behind it. I even redesigned the statement. That was very good. In fact, the Secret Service told me that it was genius. Because there's no way anybody would look at that statement and have a doubt.
Those clients, now victims, are the ones who helped
Yeah,
bring
all
Wilson
old people.
down. He says one asked to sell his silver and get his $1 million. Then a second wanted $2 million, but there was nothing to sell. That's when he says it started to unravel.
Hadn't been for a long time. And then when I hung up that phone, I thought this is the bullet with my name on it.
Those victims and so many others never got their money. Wilson will be 82 years old when he gets out of prison.
Oh, he might be alive.
The fact that he may die there.
I'd like to think that I might, through some, God's providence, that I might live to get out. I would like to spend some time with my daughter and my grandkids and my great-grandkids. But that's not likely to happen. And so I have to just come to grips with what I've done and what it's going to cost me. It's going to cost me a lot. I'm sorry that it cost the clients what it did them, but it cost them things that are financial. It cost me things that I'll never recover.
Mandy Gaither, WYFS News 4.
You gotta write him.
Wilson says
You have to.
I should.
Hey, he's doing it the right way though. That's the only way to not suffer.
You know what's funny is when I first met him, super angry at everybody.
Oh,
like that,
really?
You hear what how many times have you said that? Like, I heard me like, oh no, I'm the one that did this. I'm the one that put me here. His whole thing was, the Secret Service, the this, the that, and I was like, bro, you keep blaming. Like, when was when we first met?
Do you think he's putting on a story for the cameras?
No, I think.
Do you think that's true?
I think as he and I became friends and we talked, like, he was always like, you're like the only person here who like takes responsibility. Who like, well, you're like the only guilty man here. He's like, I mean, you're the only one saying like, and you're not blaming anybody. I don't hear you blaming anybody. No, I'm like, you put you here. So nobody fucking made you do that. Nobody, like, literally, I could hear me saying exactly what he's saying to him. And then as time went on, he was like, yeah, I did. I'm the one that did all this. I'm like, of course. But, you get sentenced, and, the first thing is to get angry and blame and this and that. And it's hard to, by the end of, if you're lucky, you start to realize that, that nobody put you here. You're put yourself in this situation. You made all the bad choices. But I'm telling you right now, 95% of the guys that go to prison, they get out thinking, fucking snitches, fucking DEA, fucking lying. What are you talking about? You were selling drugs.
Yeah.
Or you were robbing banks.
Yeah.
What do you mean you think you stole $5 million? You have to go to prison. They could have given me probation. What? You just stole $5 million.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. It's like people are delusional.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, it's funny. As we talked, he started to have that kind of mindset. And I was watching him right there. I'm thinking, oh my God,
that's like exactly what you told him.
What you talked about.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah. He was an interesting old guy, bro.
Yeah.
He had stories.
You have to write him, man.
He had great stories.
He'll probably survive. 82 is not that old.
And he was in good shape. I mean, he was like healthy.
Yeah.
His big problem was he would fluctuate in his weight ridiculously. He would get down really thin, and then he'd balloon back up. I mean, he'd like buy a bunch of like Nutty Buddies and eat the whole box. Like, we're talking a box of Nutty Buddies. He'd eat the whole box. Wow. And then like the next day he'd do that like five days in a row and eat like 1 or 2 boxes a day. It's like, bro, what are you doing? I mean, he'd just balloon back up, and then he'd get to a certain weight, and he'd start walking. The next thing you know, it's like, bro, that's not good. Like, you can't. You gotta. I'm depressed.
No shit.
Justified. Oh,
imagine how your victims feel.
Yeah.
Oh God, he had that. He had this one woman that came in one time. He told me about. She had multiple sclerosis, right? So she just started with the trembles, right?
MS-13 she had.
Yeah.
So she just started, and she had like, I don't know, like a few $100,000. And she came to him and said, her husband, who she was divorced, they were getting divorced. Her husband had been investing with him, and her husband had said, Jesus, bro. Her husband said,
yeah, we're 3 hours in.
Oh shit. So let me finish this. Okay. So her husband had been investing with Wilson. So they were getting divorced, and she came to him and she said, look, I have several $100,000, maybe a few, let's say 200,000. And he goes, right. She goes, if I gave you that money, how much would I have in, let's say, 10 years? She said, because the way I'm progressing, I got 10 years before I just can't do anything. And he went, do you have that in cash? And she goes, yes, I do. He goes, you give me $200,000 in cash. He said, in 5 years, he goes, you'll be a millionaire. He said, in 10, you'll be worth $3 or $4 million. And she goes, really? He goes, yeah. She said, I'll bring it tomorrow. And he goes, she did. She brought me in $200,000-300,000 in cash. And I went, really? And I go, man, what'd you do with that money? And he goes, I bought an antique carriage. It was beautiful, beautiful. It had gold trim.
Wow.
No remorse.
None.
What a psycho.
And I was like, Jesus, bro, she had fucking MS.
God.
And he's like, oh, she's fine. She'll be fine.
She'll be all right.
He's just taking these poor people's savings. Oh my
God. He
was 10 times worse than you.
Oh man. He had it's called the Heritage Museum, in South Carolina, and he bought like antiques and filled it. Like this is what you do. Like you've got millions and millions and millions, and he had a museum. Oh yeah. I had old cars. I had a Confederate this. I had like what do you?
Just crazy.
Wow, man.
It's just stealing from people and buying crazy shit.
That guy's fucked.
You have
All right,
to write
Matt.
it, man.
Thanks for doing this, bro. We're over 3 hours in.
Nice.
That was a
that's
solid
good piece
podcast.
of comment.
That was a good one.
This could be 3 hours of content. That could be good.
3 hours of Matt Cox. People are gonna fucking love it.
Yeah, they are.
It's good.
Well, thanks.
All right.
Plug yourself. Give all the latest.
Nobody's watched it this far. They were watching. If you're lucky, if they watch the first 30%.
Okay, well then don't plug yourself.
No,
I've been plugging.
If they caught the Ron Wilson story, they're here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Listen,
for sure. The Ron Wilson story had me by the throat.
Listen. I got a channel. It's called Matt Cox Matt Cox Inside True Crime, and that's pretty much it. Like I got some Instagram stuff. I wrote a book. I wrote a bunch of books. Yeah. I've been kind of plugging the whole way, I think. I feel pretty good. So, if you like the video, do me a favor and subscribe. Hit the bell so you're notified. Share the video. Leave a comment for the algorithm.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, the whole thing. Do the whole thing. No.
Goodbye, world. Thanks, Matt.